Hey, everybody. It's me, Beth, one of the hosts of this podcast, Totes you're about to listen to. Yep. Guess what? We have a Patreon page.
Wow.
Ooh. Do you know what a Patreon page is? It means that you can support art by giving a monthly donation.
But that's probably a lot of money.
No, you can do as little as $1.
Wow, like $1 a day?
No,
Ooh, yeah.
$1 an hour? Oh.
That's as much as dialing 1010 220.
What?
You guys don't remember 1010 220?
No.
What does that do?
Oh, it's like an old phone service from the 90s.
Did they give you the weather?
No, you like make cheap calls.
What?
But you know what you can get
Doesn't matter.
from giving us
I've
money.
hijacked the promo.
You can get bonus content.
Yes.
And we just recorded something that made me cry. I was laughing so hard. Hank Cresthorn pitches or remembers movies that he worked on.
Yep, that's the official title.
Yes.
It was a jolly good time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And we hope you enjoy it after you go to patreon.com/
Nope, just regular slash.
Just regular slash.
totesrecall.com.
No.
Yay!
They'll find it.
Totes Recall.
Whoa! Ho! 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 Bad sound. Ooh, welcome.
God, I had no idea what you were doing.
Totes Free Call.
Oh, Ghost Free Call.
The spooky podcast where we don't remember movies because we have no memory. So spooky.
It's terrifying.
Because maybe we've been ghosts all along.
Oh.
Then we eat scary pizza and spooky salad.
Yes.
And watch that movie again. My name is Danula.
Oh, boy.
This is Molly.
I'm also Daniela.
And I'm Death.
Oh.
JK, Beth.
And our Halloween episode, in case you haven't guessed yet, is Gremlins 2, the new batch?
That sounds right.
Breed?
Oh,
Batch.
batch.
New
More
batch.
like
Yeah.
Gremlins. Boo.
Boo. The spoo.
So many people unsubscribed from our podcast.
Happy Halloween.
Hey.
We're watching Gremlins 2, directed by horror icon.
And
Podcast favorite.
original podcast credits hero,
Yeah.
Joe Dante.
Joe Dante.
No way,
Hey,
really?
Joe Dante, I just
I-
realized that.
Oh, because Joe Dante did Gremlins.
Correct.
And
Yes.
also Gremlins 2?
Yes.
I'm 98% sure he also did Gremlins 2.
Yeah, because this is like this movie, as I understand it, at least our version of Joe Dante, this is the most Joe Dante movie ever made. Because it's literally just 90 minutes or whatever of just like, what if this happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Came out
Ooh.
90s. This is a 90s movie.
Is it?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of like loose suits and pleats.
Okay.
I'm writing that down. Loose suits.
Yeah, but
and
when
pleats.
did Gremlins come out? Wasn't that in the 80s?
Yeah. I think this is a
Pretty long delay?
Not like a, oh hey, we just made Gremlins, let's make this 2 years later. This is like a 8-year
Really?
difference.
What?
Wow.
No
I'm-
way.
That's bold.
Really? That's really bold.
And I'm gonna say 96.
Wow.
What?
God, I'm wrong.
You're-
No,
But
that's
I'm going with
wrong.
my gut.
I would go no higher than 92.
gonna-
Yeah.
Oh. You go 92?
I'm going to go 92.
Okay. I'm going to say 9T.
Ooh.
90.
I have no idea. 1919.
Whoa.
Wow. Going back in time.
What if we invented the concept of time travel and filmed a sequel to a movie that is yet to be made?
I'm gonna scoop all those Looney Tunes with my antics. Now, Beth, you have not seen this movie.
No.
Ooh.
and we're doing it anyway.
Ha ha.
Sorry, the premise of our podcast.
We've done this like
we've done
40
this.
times.
It's fine. It's fine.
What do you think happens?
Well, okay. So I've seen Gremlins
Mhm.
for this podcast. And I have also seen the Key and Peele sketch where they
Yep.
pitch this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everything will be based off of that.
Okay.
Okay. So there's a new batch of Gremlins, meaning like there's one that replicates again. Probably it probably starts with one.
Yeah. Who do you think it's one from the first movie?
No, it's new. It's a new batch.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Good detective
Unless
skills.
it's like that the lead one with the mohawk.
Yeah,
Spike
I for
or
real
something.
don't remember if Spike gets away at the end of Gremlins.
No,
or
he's
not.
like a skeleton at the end.
Oh yeah, he melts.
yeah, they melt the shit out
He
of
like
it.
Okay,
jumps out
so
like
no,
a creepy
it's a new batch.
skeleton.
Okay, new batch. For
But
Gizmo.
I bet that it starts in like a kind of racist shop.
Oh,
Like
Oh,
it did.
again?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And from what I have heard, each of the Gremlins has their own unique personality.
Well,
So
that's always true.
There's I guess that's true. So there's a lady gremlin,
Mm-hmm.
one that has electricity in it,
Mhm.
and that's all I remember from the sketch.
It's a shame you don't remember more of it because, as insane as that sketch is, it is shockingly accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody should check that out. Key and Peele, Gremlins 2. They'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Um,
you know, I saw this movie a year ago,
Oh, great.
and
How?
how did I see it?
Like, why? Like, what happened?
Oh, somebody hadn't seen it and thought it'd be fun to watch during Thanksgiving time.
Is this a Thanksgiving movie? Did I put this the
No.
wrong month?
No,
shit.
not at all. No, I don't think so. So we watched it for fun. And what I remember is mostly, I keep going back to that Key and Peele sketch,
Mhm.
or I picture the bar scene from Gremlins 1.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Or the other memory I have is there's a slick 1980s, like Trump Tower-ish building.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of stuff goes down in this building. So maybe it's sort of like Die Hard, but with gremlins.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's. I think
Is
that's
that right?
I think
That
that's
seems
an
right.
accurate
That actually
Yeah.
might be really
explanation
right.
of the movie.
And they try to contain the gremlin situation in this one building.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and there's a gremlin in a drawer. Oh,
What?
the cute one. The cute one.
Oh, Gizmo.
Gizmo.
Yeah.
He's a
Oh.
Mogwai.
He's a what?
He is a Mogwai.
Okay. So Gizmo the Mogwai
Uh-huh.
nerd.
Wow.
Gets hidden in a drawer,
Mhm.
and I don't know. Is it his original owner that gets a job at
I
this
think
place?
Billy is back, right?
Oh.
Billy's back?
Yeah.
Is
Isn't it
he-
Billy? That's his name, right? I just threw that
So
out.
is he like an
Oh,
adult, like with
Ben?
a job now, and now it's all over?
I'm saying Billy.
Okay, now I'm remembering that I doubled down on the name that I thought it was and it was wrong, and I don't know which one's which. I'm going with Ben.
I'm going with Billy. Molly, Beth? You wanna weigh
Brett.
in? Brett?
It's not Brett, but maybe it is for the 90s.
Sure. he changed his name for the 90s.
Yeah. Okay, so so that guy is in the movie again.
Yeah.
Sure.
There-
Does he like have a big? Does he moved up in the banking world? Because I agree that I think this is in a
Oh,
big
he's like
building
Teller
in like
the original one.
L.A.
Oh, is this about capitalism?
Sort of. I mean, this is definitely one of those like 80s, 90s like capital B business movie.
Ooh, can
business.
I change my year to 89?
Oh, is he trying to be a business guy
No.
and like sell Mogwais? Is he like, hey,
no.
No.
He wouldn't.
He would never do that.
Who
Ben.
could? Ben wouldn't.
Do we need a previously on Gremlins moment?
Oh,
Just so
yeah.
you all understand where we ended?
mean-
he killed all the gremlins.
Right.
In a movie theater.
put one in a blender?
Yeah.
Ooh.
The racist stereotype shopkeeper
Yeah.
came back
Yes.
and reclaimed
Correct.
Gizmo.
Yes. So Gizmo, at some point in this movie, must find his way back
Oh.
to young Billy.
Now
Or
did
Ben,
Ben
or Brett.
and the lady whose dad died at Christmas,
Oh, gosh.
do they get together?
Great question.
Maybe.
Do you think she's in this movie? Do
Molly's bets they do for fun.
you think they're hitched?
I don't
Wait, they
know.
do for fun?
Wait, they're
Like
together.
they're
No,
just
I'm just
they're like
saying-
It's
friends
just
with
like a-
benefits?
Yeah.
I'm saying it'd be more fun if they were still together.
I
And
agree.
Okay.
I think they are,
You're
actually.
just imagining what you want.
She's
to
wearing a
happen.
navy skirt.
Wow,
Oh.
that is the most specific thing you have ever bet on.
What's her name? Probably Jenny, right?
I think
Oh,
so.
I thought it was like Jennifer.
Right?
Okay, so that makes me think it's not Jenny and Ben.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Why?
Jen and Ben?
Oh, yeah.
It's too
pretty
much.
cute.
It would be pretty cute.
Okay, I think we had this discussion on that podcast,
We
but
definitely did.
to really like we're also recalling that podcast.
Yeah.
At least I
Yeah,
am,
ooh,
and
fun.
I'm not good. I've listened to it at least twice.
Mhm.
Oh, right, because you produced the show.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Spoiler.
How is that a spoiler?
spoiler.
She says it at the end of every episode.
Yeah, it's a spoiler for the end of the episode.
Oh, shit. Sorry, new listeners.
Beginning of the episode.
Sorry, new listeners who didn't unsubscribe after all the spooky
Spooky.
intro.
Oh,
Um.
that pizza was bad.
Yeah. So my memory is terrible, is what I'm saying.
Sure.
But I feel like my memory is really bad, and then I just remembered I've never seen the movie, so it's not that bad.
No,
Yeah.
you're fine.
You're doing great.
Okay, I think there are a lot of unique gremlins. I think that's
Correct.
worth running down. Because
Yeah.
I also remember there's a bat
Oh,
one.
we're trying to go through all of them?
oh, wow.
Oh, okay. I might remember all of them. I watched this movie a lot when
There's
I
a
was a kid.
there's a
Really?
Yeah.
genius one.
Yes.
There's like an
does he
Einstein
wear
one.
glasses?
I'm gonna say he looks like Einstein, like has Einstein
Does
hair.
he speak English?
Oh,
Maybe.
Because he's so
Yeah.
smart.
I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah, he sounds like
Does he wear a tweed jacket?
he might, actually.
Wow.
Oh, I love that.
Does he smoke a pipe?
He might, actually.
Holy shit!
He
I
definitely smokes at some point in the movie.
Get this gremlin a pipe.
What are we at a gremlin at a big old pipe of smoke, and he's so smart,
Yeah.
like a pipe smoker.
Oh,
Never
yeah.
seen a genius not smoking a
we
pipe.
should be betting these as Joe Dante.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
I'm out of ones. Oh, hey, what if there's one? You know how electricity is real big these days in the 90s? What if one was electricity? It could convert into a non-corporeal form and inhabit the fucking power lines. And then that's how the movie ends. Fire alarms them all and then unleashes the electro goblin, gremlin.
Spoilers.
Wow.
Oh.
I just remembered that.
yes.
But also, he uses sunlight because he tricks them into a night party. It's me, Joe Dante. I do Gremlins too.
Wait,
New batch.
I'm sorry. A night party or potty?
Party.
Party.
Party. We're having a
Party.
party.
We're
It's a
having a
night party.
Hey, it's a big party at night. You know how at night you love to go to party?
Hey, you really got to go to this party. You know what I mean? Like, you've been waiting all night for the party, and
you've
you got to
been
get
drinking
to
all night. You gotta get to that party.
just a release at the party.
That was not helpful at all.
Oh,
Joe Dante, I go to the party.
hey, what if we took one of these gremlins and just turned him into basically a walking salad bar? That'd be weird, right?
What?
Yeah, buddy.
Okay. What if we took one of those gremlins and made him out of meat?
Whoa,
I don't think that's real, but that'd be fun.
you're just going for it?
Just go for
It was
it.
like there was a meat and a salad bar.
That'd be
Wait, is there a pizza one? This is our movie.
Pizza.
That would be incredible.
What do you say for the girl when we make sure you understand it's a girl by giving her big lips and a dress? She looks like Smurfette. Am I right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm also remembering, hey, what if at the end of this movie we put a button on the movie where it's a real problematic joke?
Yeah, it sure is.
I won't spoil it for Beth, but it's kind of a bummer. I'm Joe Dante. I put a bummer at the end of Gremlins 2.
I'm really looking forward to this.
Hey, what if the gritty 90s reboot of the Mohawk Gremlin from the first movie had a cooler Mohawk made out of spikes, like literal spikes? And what if at one point he transformed into a terrifying gremlin spider hybrid?
Oh.
You writing that down?
Yeah.
Is
Thanks
this-
for Mohawk.
Is this movie scary?
I think it's
I
less scary than
like-
Gremlins 1.
Like I think
Oh,
this
okay,
movie
so
is
no.
like the bar scene for the entire movie.
Yes.
Like it's literally
That's the best scene
yeah,
in the movie.
like it's literally like instead like basically this whole movie is like everybody loved the bar scene where all the gremlins had their own characteristics, their own costumes, their own personalities. What if we literally made a movie that justified why that happened?
yeah.
Oh.
Because like none of these like all the gremlins just start out as like the classic gremlins. But then through the power of science,
Yeah, are
they
they
all
in a
turn into,
science
different-
building?
I think they're just in a like big multifaceted big business. The 80s.
It's a TV building.
Whoa.
It's a TV building.
Yeah, I think it's like a multi-use
Yes.
commercial building.
Do they do a
There's
news report?
a TV studio
Oh,
inside.
God damn it. I hope there's one
There's definitely a
That's like-
Gremlins news report, right?
Delivering
Where
the
they, like, take
news,
over
and
the
someone's
news or
doing the
something?
cue cards.
Wait, I might
Yeah,
be thinking
love
something
it.
different. Does Ben get a job doing TV based on
He was
his
a banker.
interaction?
I thought he was like an architect.
No,
What?
I think
No.
he wants to work in TV. I might be merging a different movie, but this
No.
is my bet.
I think he's a lawyer.
Are you writing these bets down?
You haven't made one yet. You're prepared to make it, and I'm prepared to write it.
My bet is that there's a TV studio involved,
Yep.
and
But what's
Ben
the
gets
kid's?
a job,
Uh-huh.
or I'm thinking of a totally different
what
movie.
are
My
you
bet is
betting
I'm
that his
thinking of a
job
different
is?
movie. That he wants to be in TV.
What's his current job then?
Intern.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're
Is
saying he's a
this-
lawyer?
Is this your life?
I don't know.
Are you thinking about your life, Molly?
Oh no.
Billy was for sure a banker in the first one because there was the mean old lady who owned all the things.
Yeah,
she
and
came
then
into the bank and
Judge,
wanted to kill his
Judge
dog.
Reinhold was like, "Hey, I'm a hot bank guy."
Judge Reinhold was trying to seal the deal with Jenny all
Everyone,
the time.
and Jen, yeah.
And everyone.
I'm pretty sure he's like at least an aspiring architect, because there's definitely a scene in this movie where he has like an entire like
Oh.
planned community that he's illustrated out.
Does he have those tubes? He's got a bunch of
What?
plans rolled up and like
Ooh, maybe.
and Jaquette's bet he's got a bunch of architectural plans rolled up.
Love it.
And comically either falls or bumps into someone and they all
Ooh,
fly in
yeah.
the air.
Oh yeah, okay. Definitely somebody bumps into someone else and papers go flying at some point in this movie because they're in a big business building. Come on, that has to happen.
Is there like? Oh wait, but Jenny might be in the movie. I was gonna say, is there like a lady at the office that he's
I
like
don't know.
trying to
I
court?
don't know.
I feel like they might have ditched Jenny now that I'm thinking
no,
more.
I think she's in it. There's definitely like a lady that he likes in this movie. Who,
Maybe she
Yeah.
comes back.
There's
Maybe
a lot
like
of
he's
back-
into
she
like
comes back to warn him.
an office person,
no.
and then
And there's
she's like,
Yeah.
he's like, I need Jenny here. She knows what happened last time. And then and then he's like, we should have been together the whole time. And then they kiss at the end.
oh, because this is the same movie that you're remembering how it ends. Dan's bet, definitely a secretary gets in some way harassed by the Gremlins.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Wait,
Yeah, they are.
is the
not
lady
polite.
gremlin gonna get assaulted at the end?
Oh.
No.
No, that is way darker than this movie is capable of achieving.
I don't know. You guys are all like
Yeah.
saying that's a
Mystery.
real bummer. I was thinking of what the most bummer thing could be.
Oh, it's not the most bummer.
It's not. It's just. It's one of those things where like it's like it's the early '90s and they're just like, hey, it's a joke. But then when you think about it, you're just like, oh, that's not a joke at all.
Yeah, the secretary probably gets harassed
Mm-hmm.
to illustrate that all men are secretly disgusting monsters.
Yeah, because
like
the gremlins are like mischievous, like men-ids,
Yeah,
right?
they're toxic masculinity
Oh, embodied.
Yeah.
plus
Gremlins-
science.
And I feel like they were created on purpose. That's Molly's bet. They were created on
Oh,
Oh.
shit! Are they weaponizing gremlins?
Oh shit!
That's
That'd be
if they're not,
insane.
then give us Gremlins 3 where they're doing that.
Yeah,
'Cause
right?
that's an easy ass plot line, and I
Easy.
want to watch it.
Easy
Either
plot
way,
line.
give us Gremlins 3, Joe Dante.
Yeah, what else are you doing?
Yeah, we follow you on Twitter. You don't tweet that much.
Do you follow? Do we follow?
Yes, we follow Joe Dante
Yes.
on Twitter. He mostly retweets about horror movies.
Okay, that's fair. Oh,
I feel like there is a sewer. Someone
What?
goes in the sewer and
What?
infiltrates the building.
sewer gremlin.
whoa.
Oh, there should be like a crocodile one.
Should be. Bechdel Wallace. I'm gonna say fail.
No,
That's my guess.
Yeah.
that's the lady gremlin speaks to Jenny.
Jenny.
But do any of them really have names?
Lady
No.
gremlin.
I mean,
in the credits, maybe.
yeah. Oh, Molly's bet. Lady Gremlin is the name of the gremlin.
Yeah, probably.
In the credits?
Yeah.
Gremlin girl gremlin.
Gremlina.
Oh, boy.
These are all very good guesses.
These are all great guesses.
Why would there only be one lady? It's like Smurfette, right?
It's like-
Like,
Yeah.
what is
Yeah.
that?
It totally is.
Well, I mean, like initially there aren't any. That's what I'm saying. Like the movie starts out like the first movie, and then science gets involved, and they all start transforming into a bunch of like different offshoots
Well,
of Gremlin.
okay,
Oh,
but they're
so
not
that's in
gendered
the-
at first.
So they're in a big office building that's science lab and
TV,
TV,
probably some other stuff,
and maybe
too.
some banking stuff.
Yeah, I think this is like a massive corporation that's got its fingers in a lot of different.
Oh, this is like a megacorp sitch.
Mhm. It might even be named
Die Hard.
Megacorp, for all we know.
Ooh.
Yeah. Speaking of Megacorp, Billy's boss is just some eccentric, rich dude.
Who
There's-
doesn't listen to his ideas?
Probably, yeah. Like, there's definitely a scene in this movie where he's excited that he gets to use some executive privilege technology that's in his building. Like, I think he owns the building, or he's just like the big boss man at the corporation. Because definitely a scene where like once shit starts going crazy, he like gets excited that he gets to like initiate some like emergency building protocol or something.
Cool.
Yeah. I want to say he's an actor we'll recognize, but I do not remember which actor
All I
that
can
is.
picture is the boss from News Radio.
Robert Loggia.
I don't think it's Robert Loggia.
That's Stephen Root. You're thinking of.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that is who you're thinking of.
Are there
treasure.
any actors we're going to recognize at all in this?
Oh.
I think only from the movie Gremlins.
Okay.
Well, no, because there's like, okay, there's a point in this movie where like it is just a bonkers free-for-all Looney Tunes.
Oh,
and like,
does what's his name come? The wrestler.
yeah. Like, again, if
What?
you remember
Hulk
the Key
Hogan?
and Peele sketch,
Hulk.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan makes an appearance.
What?
Yes.
I think some comedian is in this movie at some point because he's like at the TV studio to do like a talk show.
Oh,
Howie
yeah. He's
Mandel.
got the leather jacket. The
Doesn't
he do the
Lewis.
Andrew Dice Clay?
No.
Wait,
Lewis.
isn't Howie
Richard
Mandel
Lewis?
the voice
Yes.
of someone?
You think Richard Lewis is in this movie?
I think he is.
Ooh, write that down. What?
Isn't Howie Mandel the voice
I think
of
he's
one of the Gremlins?
Yeah, he's the voice of Gizmo, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
Oh.
so I'm not that far off.
No.
You're doing great.
I mean, maybe he shows up too as like a meta thing. I'm just like, oh, this
Oh.
is stupid.
I think the guy who he always yells a lot. He's in Point
Vince
Break
Vaughn?
as the FBI boss.
Oh yeah.
These are like Scrubs as the yelly
He's
dog.
also
John C. Whatever.
John C. McGinley.
You
He's
think
one
he's
of
in this
the
movie?
Bobs too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
In Office
Oh,
Space.
yeah.
A movie just mentioned.
We did.
I'm trying to help. Didn't you just say something about Stephen Root?
Oh,
News
sure.
Radio.
But he's also in
Oh.
Office Space. So good job.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We got there.
We got there.
So I think it's just some premise. Mayhem ensues.
Yes.
They find a way to destroy the gremlins at
Yes.
the potty.
Yeah.
And then
Still unclear what that
problematic
is.
button.
And then what? Yeah.
Problematic button.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
there is. I think the guy in the first movie who like everyone thought was crazy because he was like, oh, the Gremlins in Nam or wherever he was. I think he shows up in this movie again too,
Oh.
Wow.
and gets like re-traumatized by the Gremlins,
Oh.
but also maybe gets a win. Because I'm
Okay.
pretty sure he like kills the bat gremlin or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
How many gremlins, identifiable gremlins, do you think there'll be? My guess is 20.
Ooh, wow.
Wow.
I'm gonna say like a dozen at most. That's a lot of specialized puppets, Molly.
I mean,
Oh.
you know, if you're going to invest.
I mean, that's true.
I mean, we named 9.
Oof.
And you're
Wait,
gonna
what do we
go,
got so far?
Well, I wrote lady twice, so we named 8. We've got salad,
Yep.
meat,
Yep.
lady,
Yep.
mohawk spider,
Yep.
lady again, electricity,
Yep.
bat, Einstein.
Yep.
Oh, I wrote electro, so I wrote lady and electricity twice. So down to 7.
Yeah, I don't know. That might be it.
No. There's
Oh
so
no.
many of them.
I think there's one with googly eyes.
Oh, like a dumb one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that one's a
Okay.
science one though. I don't think that one
It's
is
probably
made
more
dumb
like a
by
dozen, but I
science.
already said 20, and I'm going to stick to it.
Well, there's definitely because I don't know, Molly, because you actually might be onto something. Because there's definitely like the initial crew
Mm-hmm.
where like there's like 4 or 5 evil whatevers.
Yeah.
You know, there's one with the mohawk,
Oh,
and
and
then
then
there's
they
the other ones.
maliciously reproduce.
Yeah, and then they all have their own
Ugh.
personalities.
Yeah.
Though. So there might actually be more than the science ones.
Like the family tree is gross.
Yeah, because there's
Yeah.
like the dumb one who I think doesn't get scienced, and then there's like googly-eyed one, who's another one of the original like handful of like Mogwai
Mogwai.
clones. So you might be right. There actually might be close to like 15. What are you laughing at? I don't even know. Like so many things happened in those 2 minutes.
always sounds so slightly defensive about Mogwai.
Oh,
He's like, you can just feel underneath it. He's saying, you know, I lived in Japan for a year.
I don't think it's a real word, is it?
No big deal.
Mogwai?
Yeah.
I don't think so. It's
It's
the right
just
term.
the-
Sure. I mean, it's canon. It is canon. Mogwai.
Just like to identify creatures.
Ah,
How they choose
I
to be
can't
identified.
Yep.
Oh, shit, now I'm wondering if there's other baseline gremlins. Because, yeah, they all have personalities this time because Joe Dante got to do whatever he wanted for this one. So there's Mohawk guy, googly-eyed guy, dumb guy. Ooh, bet.
Wait,
Dance
is
bet.
googly and dumb different
Because
ones?
the googly-eyed one is like,
there a
he's like a
grumpy guy?
cartoonish, like, manic one
Grumpy, sleepy.
who, like, giggles a
bashful.
lot. Yeah,
Doc.
Doc. I think Doc is like the Einstein. The dumb one I'm going to say has buck teeth.
Yeah.
What?
Does
Yeah.
the one with 3 cigarettes come back?
No, I
doubt
watched
it.
for him.
I also-
specifically
My
look for that
favorite.
guy.
I also really want the smooth jazz one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I remember
Who
Smooth
shoots
Jazz.
another gremlin for like making noise, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Let's just rewatch the bar scene and call it a night.
But this is like the bar scene for the whole movie. Don't you want to know what that's like?
It's gonna be so good.
I don't. Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be great. Molly, what should we rate this?
Oh wow. I'm gonna. How many Joe Dante genius points?
Wow.
What does that mean exactly? Like, what are we saying when we're rating that?
I feel like Joe Dante is the heart and soul of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so to pick up any one of them is just silly. We should just go with the genius as a whole.
Okay, so we're like ranking the movie based on Joe Dante's genius that is inherent to the film.
No, it's just like points, like 5 genius points,
Okay.
4. Yeah, it's
I
just
see.
no, it's not complicated.
Okay.
If you want, we can do Joe Dante genius vests.
Okay. I mean, I love that.
Okay.
Ooh, do we think Jenny's wearing a crazy vest?
Yes.
Early 90s vest?
I hope
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Nice.
I hope so. If this is the kind of movie I hope it is.
Yeah. I think we all are hoping it's that kind of movie.
Yeah.
So it's Joe Dante Genius Vest.
Yeah.
Where like we award him a vest. Like,
Yeah.
that's the point.
Yeah.
Like, we're
Yeah.
giving
It's
Joe
like
Dante a vest.
When you get a Nobel's Prize,
Yeah.
you get a medal. When you
Yeah.
get a genius grant for
Mm-hmm.
movies, you get a vest.
For movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Glad
Oh
that we
man.
clarified that.
I don't know. Like I loved this movie when I was a kid. We literally watched this all the time. Like I don't think we owned it. We just must have either rented it all the time or secretly recorded it when we rented it one time. Because we definitely watched it a bunch.
Criminal.
Like way more than the first one. Because this one is like a Looney Tunes cartoon. But like, oh, it's got to be terrible, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just like an insane. Like it's basically just like they were like, oh, that movie did okay. Joe, do you want to do another one? And he just went nuts. But it's also like a horror guy from the early 90s who's got to have like no inhibitions whatsoever or even consider like the movie he's making, right? I don't know. I'm nervous. I'm gonna take the science that transforms me into coward gremlin
Oh.
and say 3 vests.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm gonna like this movie.
Wow.
What? So, I'm
So
gonna
confident.
feel bold
Uh-huh.
and say 1 vest.
Wow.
Whoa.
Which
You're
means
that confident you'll hate this movie?
I just don't think I'll like it. But
Wow.
what if
What
I'm
if?
surprised
That'd be amazing.
and I give it like 7?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that would
Come
certainly
on,
be
that's
surprising.
The best
unprecedented.
movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, that gives me a lot of room to go.
Yeah. And it's a hell of a teaser for our new subscribers who didn't unsubscribe from the Halloween puns
Yeah.
to keep going.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
Well, wow. I think this is going to be great.
Okay.
I'm going to give it 5.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm excited.
Vest on vest on vest.
That's a lot of vests. He's going to be sweating from all those vests.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Not from his pits. I guess like a lot of lower back sweat.
Yeah, and like maybe like under his pectorals if they got a little like some heft,
Yeah.
like the belly, maybe a little belly sweat.
Belly sweat.
If he's cinched up tight.
Yeah. 'Cause I think it's just full on like 90 minutes of bananas.
Yeah.
And I'm going to love it.
Okay.
Oh, there's a bathroom scene with 2 ladies in it.
What?
Yeah, we'll see.
Do they talk to each other?
I don't know about what. That's the problem.
Does it count if they're like, Gladys, have you seen these crazy monsters in the building?
Yes, I have, Mary.
Yeah, because they're not really gendered, right?
No.
Until one of them is scienced into Lady Gremlin.
Yes, very sexy lady gremlin.
Yeah.
But doesn't that by default make all of the rest of them men?
Oh, wow, we got a lot to talk
Well,
about. when we
no,
come
there could be
back.
there's not just 2 genders.
I guess
right?
it'll depend on what science turns it into Lady Gremlin. Like
Yeah.
if it's specifically like lady science.
Well,
It's
it's probably
probably like,
lipstick.
ooh, this one, yeah, like fell into cosmetics.
I
Now
think
it's
it's-
a woman.
I think it's a little more sci-fi than that. I think it's like literally like, oh, it's some crazy like hormone something or whatever, or like
Oh, like a hormone freezer or
yeah,
something.
or like oh, it's like a X chromosome, like a anti-Y chromosome or something, like just something very
Y blaster.
something nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. For a split second, I was going to give it 4 vests out of sheer optimism.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then you remembered that
But
it's
then I
you, Molly Chase.
remembered- Then I remembered it's me. And also that bathroom scene, for whatever reason, I feel uncomfortable.
None of us even know what that is.
I don't remember either. I just remember feeling uncomfortable
Another
about it.
teaser.
Also, it's possible I'm remembering a totally different movie. So I'm going to give it 3 vests.
Okay.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like this whole TV station thing, it seems so real to me, but it might be completely wrong. But then if I am wrong, I'm going to have to figure out what the TV thing was. So I'm really hoping I'm right.
Yeah, there are a lot of questions to be answered in the second half.
Yeah.
None of them to do with the actual movie, even.
Yeah. So stick around.
What are you doing?
Oh.
Stick around.
And with that, we're going to press pause and go watch Gremlins 2. We'll be right back. No. And we're back. We just watched 1 hour and 46 minutes of itchy chaos that was somehow also fun. That's my best synopsis.
Woof, woof.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
What is that? Is that a dog?
street dog?
Like a
Cujo
haunted
or something?
dog? No,
Oh.
come on.
Hound of the Baskervilles.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez. Let's never do a Halloween episode again.
Wow.
All right. Well, I guess this podcast has got a year left.
Nope.
Get it in patreon.com/patreon.com.
Come on. You could have tried
You
a
could've
little.
tried.
Doesn't matter.
Anyway, yes, Molly. I think you summarized it pretty
Yeah,
effectively.
pretty
If I heard
much.
you correctly through my mummy noise.
Yes, yeah. It was pretty itchy. It was real
Yeah.
itchy. I mean,
What do you
like
mean by that?
physically, I don't want to jump the gun or put any spoilers in here, but
Nope.
You can
bad
spoil.
Please do put
gremlins,
spoilers in.
when they get splashed with water, they also multiply, but the way they do it is through these semi-transparent green pustules.
Mhm.
It is so gross.
Mhm.
I still there's a part of my arm I just want to itch constantly.
I enjoyed the fact that when the first batch of the new batch got wet, they all deliberately turned their backs to the camera.
Look at this.
Like they were all just sort of sitting there feeling weird because they were getting wet, but then they all sort of just casually turned so that their backs were facing the camera.
Yeah, when the fire alarm gets
Yep.
them.
Yeah.
After they put a bunch of metal in a microwave of one of the 18 microwaves on Marge Microwave or whatever the show is called, Microwave Marge.
Marge.
Before we get too much further, I feel like we just got to give props to Beth because I feel like she basically nailed it.
All right, yeah, here's Beth's predicts.
Yeah.
There would be a new batch.
Yep,
Yep.
correct.
Yeah.
There would be no holdover from the first one. I think we were talking Gremlin holdover.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
think That's true.
Correct.
Yeah.
All of a new batch.
Yeah.
And the new batch, though, for some reason hates Gizmo as much as the old batch, but we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Racist shopkeeper. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's back. The
100%.
same one. Each Gremlin would have a unique personality. Yeah.
Most of them.
Pretty much, yeah. There's the highlighted unique ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then Molly, you had some bets as well.
Oh, right.
No.
This would be Die Hard with Gremlins.
Pretty much.
Sort of.
Yeah.
There's a vent scene.
Yeah. There's vents. It's
There's
a big
a
building.
Rambo thing.
Yeah, the brain one is sort of
There's a Rambo thing.
What?
Is your Die Hard?
You
parallel?
know. He gets pushed too far. Yeah.
Now he has a machine gun.
Yes.
Ho ho,
Ho,
but
ho, ho.
Halloween, but not
Ho,
Halloween because this doesn't take place during any
Mwahaha.
holiday.
Oh, Mike Myers.
What? Oh,
Okay.
There's a big building. Yes.
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 Nailed it.
There's a drawer Mogwai.
Yes.
Yeah.
nailed it.
100%.
There's even an
Good job, everyone.
in-drawer shot, of Gizmo just hanging out in the drawer.
Yeah. You know he's not going to stay put.
No, come on.
Yeah. This came out in 1990. Good job,
Boom,
Dan.
Boom, boom.
Man.
Nice.
6 years after the first one.
Big gap.
I bet 8, but I was closest because I'm the only one that bet. Nailed it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. It's got Billy and Kate.
Mm-hmm.
So not Ben or Jenny or Brett.
I think in that episode you bet that his name was Ben, and so in the second half we called him Ben the entire time,
I think
which
that's,
could
happened.
Very
have,
possible,
yeah, which
yeah.
could have led to us believing that one of the names rhymed with Ben
Or was Ben.
or was Ben.
I guess Ben does rhyme with Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben rhymes with Ben.
You heard it here first.
Think about it. Molly, you talked about a navy skirt that Jenny would be wearing.
I mean,
Kate.
basically.
Yeah.
What?
I guess I never paid attention to what she was
I
wearing.
forgot to look. I think it was
So
dark
focused on the
gray.
hat and the jacket.
It was mostly
Yeah,
work
she was a
attire.
tour guide. Yeah.
She's dressed like a building.
Yeah.
She has the world's dumbest hat on, and she
Oh.
refuses to take it off. It
For
drove
a
me
while.
insane.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, you're running around that can't be comfortable. It's probably wobbling all over the place.
Yeah.
Like, take the hat off.
Let me
Put it. I
present-
bet
Probably
you have a
should get
locker or
fined.
something.
That
Yeah.
whole building was watching.
Yeah.
You saw what happened to the guy who took a smoke break.
Mhm.
But she knows what happens when the gremlins arrive. She
Okay.
knows she has to take care of business.
Let me present you a hypothetical.
Instead, she wears her dumb hat.
Let me present you a hypothetical about this hat. We've seen that everything in this building is automated to a fault.
Oh, you think the hat's automated?
What if the hat auto fits to the employee's
Oh my
head and
God.
doesn't come off until their allotted shift
Oh, they
is
like
over?
punch out and
Yeah,
their,
and the hat goes like.
their outfit just falls off.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I wouldn't put it past that
I mean,
guy.
there was a scene where we specifically saw that the punch clock was also in the locker room. Like she was punching out while a woman was behind in the background in a towel, like just coming out of the shower.
Yeah.
Oh,
So like maybe that is actually what happens.
And we should maybe explain that this was part of her tour guide
Yes.
costume.
Uh,
So she worked as a tour guide.
Clamp
uniform.
Tower. Yes.
uniform.
And whereas Billy worked upstairs, I guess in design or publicity or something.
He
He was in the art department
for property.
design, marketing,
Something.
design.
Yeah,
right?
They were
'cause
going
they
to
were
take
designing-
over publicity.
Yeah, because Clamp is trying to buy out the old Chinese man's shop,
Yeah, I think he's trying to buy out like all of Chinatown. It
and
looked like.
he says he's gonna make it a Asian themed.
Oh, that's right. The tagline is where business gets oriented.
Yeah,
Ugh.
it's a real
Ugh.
bummer.
But
also, real like, that character is gross.
great, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
from the number 2 man to the insane Trump Ted Turner hybrid,
Yes.
Oh,
who is
he
fucking
crushed
fantastic.
it. Yeah. I mean, that guy crushed it.
He's a great eccentric billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
He like whatever hits his eyeballs last, he like just takes in and thinks it's the best idea.
Yeah.
mhm.
I don't know. He's
like,
just
he-
self-righteous.
And like everything that happens to him, he finds a way to like leverage sort of for his own gain,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
at least in the long term.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's great.
He's great.
Yeah, it was interesting as a former Turner employee to watch this movie because I actually feel a little protective about Ted Turner.
Did you work under the big man?
Not specifically,
Hmm.
but I did work in a very corporate department
Sure.
that worked with his office pretty frequently.
Mm-hmm.
And you would find yourself riding the elevators with him and overhearing some pretty choice moments. He was pretty fun.
Okay.
He was much less predictable than this particular character.
Really?
Yes. He really, you really wanted him to show up at an employee event because you did not know what he was going to say. Like, no one knew what he was going to say. He'd be provided with talking points.
Sure.
But also, he did stuff like have an environmental division that had, 7 employees, and they made documentaries and did stuff, work with the environment, which is a really unusual choice to make.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell you a lot about CNN. The CNN tour guide actually made me laugh a little bit because there was a guy who was going to become the new CEO of Turner, and he had been stationed internationally for a long time and hadn't been back to the Atlanta headquarters of CNN, and decided to take the CNN tour, which I think is still one of the most popular destinations in Atlanta for tourists. Yeah, so he decided just to go on the tour as a regular human. And while he was on the tour, I don't know which tour guide this was, but this poor person was trying to give the part of their speech, and they got nervous. And instead of saying whatever the actual viewership of CNN was, they blurted out that CNN every year got 10 billion viewers, which of course is more than the population of the entire planet. Yeah. Anyway, that's just sort of a nightmare scenario. I was related to that tour guide because I was like, that would happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
That the one day
Did
that
they
I,
recognize the guy? Is that why they were nervous?
I wonder if they didn't just get nervous, but I'm sure they heard about it later. But they did not wear cool hats like Kate does. in
Like a
this
big
movie.
red C
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like just a picture of Wolf Blitzer like standing and pointing.
The
They just wear-
Situation room.
they just wear
Yeah.
the beard.
Just a hologram on top of their head.
Yeah, of Will I Am. Maybe now.
Yeah.
Hey, are you listening? CNN Tour Guide Incorporated
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, they probably farmed that out.
Yeah. Right?
But we should talk about the very beginning of this movie, which opens with Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Oh.
out of nowhere.
It
Like-
I asked several times, are we watching the right thing?
Yeah, and even though Dan said yes, I kind of didn't believe him.
Yeah,
I
and
didn't
I
either.
was reaching for the remote to like check the title
Yeah.
when they were like, "All right, let's start the movie." I was like, "Okay," but it's so wild because when we talked about the first movie, and maybe this is why you said it, someone said this is like a live action Looney Tunes.
Mhm.
I thought that was just hyperbole.
Yeah.
But I think
We just thought it was Dan being Dan.
even Joe Dante knew
Yeah.
what he was doing.
Yeah.
And it was an intentional choice to be like, oh, Looney Tunes? What if they were Gremlins
Yeah.
in live action?
And really, like, it's almost a comment on, like, what if the Looney Tunes were real? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because, like, really, when you think it, like, really, as someone who watched a bunch of cartoons when I was a kid and am now a cynical adult, like, sometimes when you do, like, think too hard about those characters, you're like, oh, yeah, they're all terrible.
Yeah.
Like, all of them. Like,
Oh,
Bugs
yeah.
Bunny is one of the worst people in the world. He's just a jerk.
Yeah.
And Daffy Duck is a narcissist and constant, like, he's very self-destructive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like,
the
clearly
violence
has
is
problems.
Off the
But
charts.
isn't this also the era of Space Jam?
Mm,
Isn't this just trying to make Warner Brothers cartoons?
I thought Space Jam was in, like, the late 90s.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because
Yeah,
when
mid
was
to late 90s.
when was the
Oh, where was
Unstoppable
Robert
Dream
Rabbit?
Team of the Chicago Bulls?
Sorry, what?
Yeah, what'd you say?
What
Roger
did I
Rabbit?
say? Roger Rabbit.
That was
Robert Rabbit.
Robert Rabbit.
Robert Radford?
I don't know. Roger Rabbit was somewhere around this time, maybe more
Yeah,
in the 80s
that
though.
seems around the right time.
I don't know. I just sort of took it as a way of getting Warner Brothers to greenlight it, is to be like, we're going to be super meta about this.
I mean, it certainly.
What if we tattoo the Warner Brothers
Yeah,
logo on
like-
one of the Gremlins?
It is.
Actually happens.
There were like moments in this movie where it was sort of like you couldn't tell if it was just like our version of Joe Dante come to life, or if it was like you can make this stupid movie, but you have to constantly remind people about all the other great properties that we have.
Yeah. Well, here's one piece of trivia that I learned. Joe Dante didn't really want to make this movie.
Oh,
Really?
And basically was like, okay, I'll make it, but you have to give me like absolute 100% complete creative control over
Yeah,
it. They're
yeah.
like, oh, okay. So this is like no filter Joe Dante.
I love it.
Wow.
So really, like our version of Joe Dante might actually be pretty accurate.
This movie's fucking wild.
It's insane.
I love it. I love it.
Spoiler
so
alert.
much. We'll get to all the things I love.
Oh, while we're at the beginning though, can we talk about Gizmo's handler or whatever, like his best friend, the old Asian man,
Yeah.
who works in an very like stereotypical,
Like a high-rise pagoda.
yeah, which is fine. That was in the first movie. We were already aware that was going to happen.
Yeah.
But then what happens is corporate stooges come
Oh,
in
fuck, yeah.
with a TV and VCR.
And remote.
And remote, yeah. And so the guy, like Trump Turner's like number 2 comes in with like, oh, the offer to Mr. Wing to like buy his property. They set the TV down, put a video cassette tape into the VCR, and then he picks the remote. He's literally leaning on the TV, but he still takes out a remote because it's 1990 and turns it on. And like, it was. I think that was one of the moments where I'm like, this is the most 1990 thing ever, where like a corporate developer is just telecommuting by pre-taping
Yep.
a
It's awful.
conversation and then sending one of his goons over with a TV.
Yeah.
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 So
It's
good.
really good. And his number 2 is great. He's like perfect 90s business douche.
Oh, such a douche.
Yeah.
He works inside of a space office.
Yes. It's like missile control in
It's
there.
Yeah.
insane. And he
Slash
like
Apollo whatever.
yeah, and he like gets off on it too because there's that whole scene introducing kind of helping you understand this character where he like speaks over a loudspeaker and like turns on floodlights of a guy like taking an unauthorized smoke break and then
Yeah.
firing him over the loudspeaker.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because they're in the most automated building in the world,
Yes.
which has a lot of good LOL moments.
there were a lot of LOL moments about that building actually.
Yeah, we first see someone getting comically spun around by a revolving door.
Yes, with
Yeah.
even like the cartoonist like
Yeah, this movie is peppered with literal
Oh,
Looney
man.
Tune sound drops.
A lot of honks.
Yeah.
A lot of slide whistles.
a lot of just like boom.
Bells, like
Boing, boing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
like we didn't see any birds flying around someone's head, but you could
You
hear
could hear
them.
it.
Heard
Yeah.
it, yeah.
You can hear it.
Oh yeah, one of the Gremlins just makes a train noise.
Yeah. Yeah, that is how we were introduced to googly-eyed Mogwai.
Yeah.
Was literally every time it was on screen, there was the sound of train whistles and sometimes like a train bell, like just train sounds, just constant train sounds.
Yeah.
You know, because his brain was like a train,
I
a
guess
runaway
One-track
train.
mind.
I guess.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Runaway train,
What?
never
Really?
gonna come back.
Is that what that song's about? The googly-eyed
That's
gremlin?
really gremlin. Yeah. Soul Asylum saw this movie. Was like, we gotta write about this train gremlin. Yeah, the building's
If he
amazing.
was a trainee,
Who? What? Wait.
like an apprentice
Yeah.
gremlin.
Of apprentice of who?
The other gremlins.
I mean, I guess he was kind of like the lowliest. I'm trying to dig you out of this, Molly.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
Dan and I had given up on you.
I was gonna write it out on this train.
Train
Ah.
ride. Choo choo.
Bow wow, choo choo.
No.
So Gizmo just happens to be picked up by the Doublemint twin.
Oh yeah,
Cloning
because
scientist.
yeah,
That's
because
amazing.
after we were just told over exposition news lady that Mr. Wing just died in the 6
Yeah.
weeks between VCR address.
I think number 2 poisoned him.
He totally got murdered, right?
Like had some of that super secret hand poison or whatever.
Wait. Okay.
Hand poison.
There is a moment while he's being addressed by the VCR where number 2 opens up a dusty old paper umbrella and a
Oh,
cloud of dust emerges.
Yeah. Oh.
Next scene, Mr. Wing is coughing and telling Gizmo to turn the TV off.
Yeah.
I think he accidentally unleashed some like ancient spore
Yeah.
and like almost unintentionally killed the guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it is very dramatic with Gizmo trying to
he's so
escape.
sad.
Because he's not trapped in his cage, thank
No.
goodness. But he's just sad by himself. And then a literal, like, clamping, like, wrecking ball thing.
Yeah.
What do you call that?
Excavator.
Yeah.
Excavator.
I got a 3-year-old. I can tell you about trucks.
Just starts coming through the wall. And Gizmo, like, I just have to say, the puppeteering on Gizmo
Oh,
was
so good.
incredible.
So good.
Like, I was even able to look past those creepy fingers.
What?
And just those Gizmo fingers are super
Adorable.
creepy. Oh.
I mean, they're less creepy than the gremlin fingers,
I
right?
mean, for sure, but still. But I mean, the emotion, like, I think we all know how I feel about animal harm.
Certainly.
I really struggled with puppet harm
Yeah.
in this one because Gizmo goes through a lot. But the first thing he goes through is, like, just getting out alive before he's picked up by one of the Peppermint twins.
That's what we're calling them?
Peppermint
I
scientist
mean, I said
twins.
double bit like the gum.
Oh, sure.
But sure, they're members of the Peppermint Gang.
Peppermint.
Yeah.
If we really want to eat our own
We
tail on this.
represent the Peppermint Gang.
Yeah, he's picked up by a bow tie wearing man
Science
Yeah.
man.
who turns out to be a twin who's in charge of the cloning division.
LOL.
So maybe they're clones?
It's, I mean,
But they're the same
Oh.
age,
Right.
so they wouldn't have cloned each other unless
Well,
they have,
maybe they cloned the baby.
maybe Christopher Lee cloned them.
and then made them in charge of cloning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
Who better?
yeah.
Yeah.
Who better
All
to
right,
understand
sure.
it?
Yeah, Christopher Lee is the head scientist in the
Splice of life.
genetic
Genetic laboratory.
which is it's just a tenant in
Correct,
the building.
yes.
It's not part of
Yeah.
clamp core.
Clamp core. Yeah, I was under the impression that everything in that building was part of the clamp
No,
business.
they're just renting out
Yeah.
a space to a genetics
Yeah,
laboratory.
so that building, that means the tenants of that building are a like clearly illegal like eugenics lab,
yeah.
a frozen yogurt stand.
Oh, so much frozen
With
yogurt.
half of the cast, half of the
Yes.
speaking parts take place at that yogurt stand.
Some of them were credited as yogurt customers, but then probably who got $50 more were credited as yogurt jerks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is probably the people that are rude.
Yeah.
But I like
no,
to think
I thought it was because it was like a soda jerk.
yeah, that's what I
Like the people working at the ice cream
Oh
place.
yeah, no,
that's
you're
what I
the
was
right.
kind of
yogurt place.
hoping.
Yeah, you might be right actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I did never thought of that.
neither.
I think that's
Whoa.
correct though.
I hope it's the other one.
Which one?
Wow.
That
That
they're just like,
good customers and the jerks.
What are what makes these what makes these people like different from everyone else? Well, they're eating yogurt and they were jerks.
I mean,
So,
there were the two
yogurt
customers
jerks.
that
Yeah.
were complaining. The one
Yeah.
about like doing some real LOL. It's the 1990s.
Yeah.
Whole like natural foods.
Yeah.
Mm.
We care about the environment for the first time.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Did you just bum
I
yourself
just bummed
out?
myself out. Like we were comically carried about the environment
Yeah.
like 20 years ago.
Yeah,
And
environmentalism.
we haven't done anything about it.
Right. Environmentalism in like the late 80s, early 90s was like how mental health was when Twister came out.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, LOL, people are so sensitive. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just get over it.
So Gizmo is in this movie, sort of.
Yeah.
I'm surprised by how little Gizmo matters in this movie.
Yeah.
Hush your mouth.
Gizmo's
Oh,
like
he
a.
matters so much in the movie.
I mean, I guess in the end, he sort of is like a.
He's
they
like
make
the
T-shirts with
only
his face on it.
sympathetic character in that entire.
But
He's saying for like the story
here's
itself.
here's Gizmo's role in this movie.
Yeah.
Still at the Chinese shop.
Yeah.
Billy finds him, abducts him, puts him in a drawer irresponsibly. He gets sprayed with water, starts the Gremlins. Great. He's got to be that. Then he's just tortured by the Gremlins for the next hour,
Yeah.
hour and 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Deep
But it felt
into
like longer.
to the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And then he like has insane Rambo PTSD.
Yeah.
Makes a bow and arrow.
Rescues.
Kills the spider gremlin.
Yeah.
The torturer. That's
Yeah.
who was torturing the whole time.
Yeah. And then that's it.
But he saves the life of Kate and Marla.
True.
That's
He
two
does get a
lives.
heroic moment.
Mm-hmm.
But like
But
he seems like the star of the movie, right?
it's called Gremlins, not Mogwais.
But like the gremlins are the villain of the movie.
yes.
The hero should be Gizmo.
No, the
But it's
hero is
Billy.
Billy
All right.
Yeah.
because he's a man.
I mean, what's
Alright.
Gizmo?
Gizmo is a
Gizmo's
mogwai.
That's like
Thank
a
you.
childlike.
I guess they produce asexually, so they don't really have gender, right? Like there is no sex to their species.
No.
Yeah.
Not
guess
unless
not.
they drink like quadruple X
Oh yeah.
Fluid.
Science.
Yeah.
Fluid.
science fluid.
Well, we're talking gender. We should talk about Lady Gremlin.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Did she like most of the special gremlins drink a beaker with a picture of the thing they're going to
There
be
is
on
a
it?
there's a
which-
broken
Yeah.
beaker. That's how science works, Beth.
I don't. Okay.
You put the picture.
They don't have anything like in storage. Like everything's just like sitting on a
Yeah,
counter.
like they're
And
loose
then they're
speakers.
like, I don't know, I'll print out like a lightning bolt icon
Yeah.
and then tape that on there, and that's electricity for
Yeah.
some reason. They have electricity in a jar.
Yeah, bioelectricity.
Yeah.
They said it out loud because they
They
were going to make the New
did?
York rats power light bulbs
Oh,
or
that's
whatever.
right.
They
Yeah.
hold up the light bulb. They really take their time explaining to
yeah.
you how this works.
Yeah.
And all of the experiments are happening at the same time
Yes.
in just an open floor plan.
With animals. Like there are loose
Oh
lab
yeah,
animals.
there's a cow.
The cow that talks.
Oh yeah,
Does the
no,
cow
it's got I think it's got a brain reading
Yeah,
helmet
but it's
on.
like communicating. Like it's
Oh.
that's those are the cow's thoughts. It's
Right,
like,
There was another
unless they were
animal too,
brainwashing
right?
the cow. Ooh, is that
Ooh.
like big ag kind of thing? Of like
Oh,
I
to
enjoy
do
being
it.
milked.
It's like a 1984.
Yeah, like training the
cows?
cows to
Oh,
be okay
Animal
with it.
Farm.
Yeah, some
There's,
animals
there's
are
a
more
loose
equal.
camel.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that was it.
like just the random like lab animals escaping moment was incredible.
Oh,
'cause, like,
a baby elephant.
oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
When
That's
we
the
first
first
walk
one.
in, when the delivery guy first introduces us to Spice of Life, yeah, the first thing he sees is just some lab tech taking an elephant through whatever floor of this New York high rise.
Yeah, how'd they get it up there? Just on the elevator?
I guess the service elevator.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like it's like how you get 5 elements in a hatchback.
What are you doing?
Is this a joke?
What?
2 in the front, 3 in the back.
What?
Is that the joke?
Is that
Yeah.
a joke?
Yeah,
The
that's
joke
the
is that's how hatchbacks are designed.
Ah,
literally the joke.
I get it now.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Anyway, there was a broken beaker when they first show Lady Gremlin's well-defined calves
Yeah.
and high heels.
Which also look like butts. Did anybody else think her calves looked like butts?
I mean, I didn't think that, but I guess I could review the tape and I could tell you.
All right. Tweet at us.
Yes, definitely tweet at us.
What is that hashtag?
Hashtag calf butts.
Gremlin calf butts?
Gremlin calf butts. Yes, please.
Because don't send us just random pictures of calves that look like butts.
Yeah,
That's foul.
that's bovine.
Bovine.
Ah!
Oh, man. No, Dan, don't leave. Don't leave.
There was a broken beaker on the floor
Yeah.
that had the
Chromosomal stuff.
the symbol, like, you know, there's like
The
the
lady.
Venus, Mars
Oh, okay.
symbols that we use traditionally
Sure,
to denote
the
male and female.
Greek? Question mark?
Oh, I thought it was Roman.
Whatever.
I
It
think
doesn't
it's
matter.
Greek.
Hey, nerds.
They're the same.
Tweet at
Ha-ha.
it.
Come at
Whoa.
us. Romans, you can't. You're dead.
Yeah, but like But
Wow.
ancient civilization heads are going to tweet at us
Yeah,
hard.
those classics
Wow.
majors.
Shut up, classics nerds. Anyway, there's a beaker that had the symbol for female on it.
Okay, so it just
So off camera,
a feminizing.
off camera,
potion.
it drank the female potion.
Yeah,
I guess.
which is pink.
Okay, so to be clear, there's
Yes.
a beaker of female potion,
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
electricity,
Yes.
Yep.
spiders.
Yes.
Brain.
Brain hormone.
Brain
That
hormone.
That
was
was
a
Christopher
hormone.
Lee called.
Yeah.
Yes.
What
Oh,
is a
there was a
brain
beaker
hormone?
that made you able to resist the sun.
Oh yeah, genetic
was-
sunblock.
Genetic sunblock, which was entirely deposited into the bat.
Yes.
Just
Yeah.
for this gargoyle joke that took a real long time to
Yeah,
get there.
it's like 10 minutes of scene.
Just-
Oh, we also get, the goddamn Bat Gremlin smashing through the wall and
Oh, yeah.
leaving a perfect Batman emblem.
Yes.
Warner Brothers property.
Yep.
Yeah, baby.
Okay, maybe I'm just an idiot, but why does the sun thing come in? Oh, because it can go outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's got to be able to
got
go
it.
outside to become a gargoyle.
Got
Yeah.
it. Got it.
But it's the only one.
Yeah.
You'd think the Brainiac would spare some of that for all the gremlins.
For at least for himself.
Yeah.
Maybe like he thought like, oh, maybe he was like, we're on like God knows what floor of this building.
Uh-huh.
By the time we get through all the floors, we'll probably all get killed or something.
Like, yeah, maybe he's just much smarter.
Or
He
something.
reminded me to me like he was the Frasier.
Yeah, he was
the
voiced.
Frasier Crane.
He was voiced by Tony Randall, who I don't think any of us are old enough to really know about,
Not
but he was
really.
a Felix Unger for The Odd Couple, some version of The Odd Couple.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is his natural speaking voice.
It seemed
It was
to me
a
like
fascinating
it was all over the
dialect,
place. Not
yeah.
as all over the place as Marla. but-
Oh, Marla.
I think that's a real voice.
no, it was
No.
all over the
No,
place.
because she like hits like Staten Island hard, and then sometimes it's kind of British.
and then
Yeah.
sometimes it's Southern.
I know, man, but like,
swear
have
to
you ever
there's-
heard any of those people from like the outskirts of North Carolina where like they've barely lost? It's like some insane dialect that's like kind of like an English accent, but they've been here for so long.
Well, then where's the Staten Island coming from?
I don't know.
I think she's English or has that accent and is trying to do a Staten Island accent, so she keeps losing it into her real accent.
Yeah.
Accident?
Yeah,
I did that on
that's-
purpose. That was
well,
not
that
an
is
accident.
an accident.
If you are that actress,
Accented.
tweet at us
Or Channing Tatum.
or Channing Tatum. Tweet at us
As
with
always.
hashtag yes, that is my accent, or no, that is not my accent, or if you prefer, leave me alone.
Always an option.
Except for you, Channing Tatum, please
Don't leave us alone.
don't leave us alone.
Oh, Channing.
Oh.
Yeah. What we're talking about? Lady Gremlin.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay. Turns into a shapely Lady Gremlin, purple eyeshadow,
Very accentuated lips.
Yes,
a lot of lipstick, and then immediately is like super horny for the
for
number
that
2.
one guy, specifically that
Yeah.
one guy. Yeah.
Wasn't there? Oh, I got it. Never mind. There was a horn joke, but it was later. We'll come back.
Oh yeah, the moose.
The Canadian
Oh,
restaurant.
God damn it. Well,
Would you have to go back to
This
Marla
movie is
for a
all
second?
over the place, you guys.
Yeah.
It is. Well, let's talk about the female characters, right? So
Oh,
we've
okay.
got
We're
the
starting
lady,
with the Gremlin.
Lady Gremlin.
Yeah.
We've got Marla,
Yep.
the amorous / ambitious coworker,
Or it's his boss.
who is his
I
boss,
mean, that's Billy's direct supervisor,
direct
I think.
supervisor,
Right?
Yeah.
and his girlfriend / fiance,
Yeah, like
Kate.
they might get married
They're like
if he
talking
can
about
like
it.
Get a better job.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they're worried about money.
Yeah.
But
And-
like,
yeah.
just get married.
It's
If you wanna get married.
1990.
Her
What
dad's
is-
dead.
Ooh.
Wow. Wow. Oh, we got to remember to mention that.
It's 1990. They're from a small town. The implication is that if they're going to get married, they're going to have kids, which means they can't live in a garbage apartment in the middle of New York.
Yeah. They're trying to be responsible. Plan ahead. He used to work at a bank.
Yeah.
She used to be. What did she?
She also worked at the bank, didn't she? Because
Yeah.
Judge Reinhold was trying to get on it.
Oh.
I thought she worked. No, she worked at her mom's bar.
Oh,
they
yeah.
all
That's right.
hung
Because
out.
she had the gremlin. She had to deal with all the gremlins at the bar. Okay,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yes. No wonder she hates the gremlins.
Mhm.
Anyway, so these are our 3 women characters, pretty much for the whole movie,
And
except for Miss
Futterman.
Futterman,
Yeah.
who
She's just kind of there.
sort of a color character, parsley kind of character.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So our 3 female characters, like I don't know which.
Oh, also there was the genetics lab secretary who we thought was Julia Sweeney, and
Oh,
it turned out it was
it
Julia
was Julia Sweeney.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Julie
she
Sweeney?
nailed it.
Julia Sweeney.
Yeah. Julia
Okay,
Sweeney.
great.
Oh, now I'm thinking of Julia Sugarbaker.
What?
What?
Oh, and
from
there was
Designing
Margaret
Women.
Martha Microwave
Microwave.
Marge.
Oh, never mind.
Microwave
You know
Marge.
what? No wonder this one passed the Bechtel.
And there was a single woman in the control room,
Yeah.
but she got a lot of lines.
She got some good
That's
zingers,
true.
She probably got
actually.
the most of all the underlings in the control room.
Yeah.
She also got to
true.
get wounded, which was maybe like an extra $50, right? I bet.
Yep.
Like
I
an
want to
extra.
talk about her, but I don't want to sidetrack you, Molly. You want to
No,
talk
no,
about
it's
these three
fine.
principal females.
Yes.
Yeah, I just was really struck by, because there's this whole. When I was a fledgling corporate type, I went to a seminar where they said that men can only see women in 3 ways. Yeah, as a mother,
Mm-hmm.
a wife,
Mhm.
or a lover.
Mm-hmm.
And of those 3, your best bet was to be a wife. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
This is a corporate retreat?
It was
or
a
like
corporate
a-
talk.
Cool.
Yeah.
Was
A
it
woman
like
wrote an entire...
How to succeed
How
in
to
the work?
navigate.
Yeah.
Ugh.
There were... Listen, it's still
So that's
very
like
bad.
become a work wife kind of thing. Is
It
that
was
what she's telling
basically
you?
like just you will save yourself a lot of time and energy if you realize that there are those 3 categories that generally you're going to get put into.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like, do not bake because then you're a mom
Mm-hmm.
and you cannot get out of being a mom if you bake. And do not let yourself get cast as the lover type because no one in the office will respect you,
Mm-hmm.
even if you're not doing anything, which you probably aren't.
Mm-hmm.
So your best bet is to be someone that they confide in private, even if they don't support you in public. Like seriously, that was
God.
the best possible advice. And I'm telling you, that was, let's just say, many years ago.
Uh-huh.
And when I look around, I don't think that women's business advice is much better than that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, almost all of it about communicating and navigating the workplace is how to make yourself acceptable to a male-dominated environment and how to not be offensive to other women. Like, seriously, just straight up. I have a whole dissertation I could give you, which I will not, because it's not totes patriarchy, but
What?
yeah.
Like a literal written dissertation?
No,
Oh.
no, but I mean, honestly, like I could go on about this for days because
Uh-huh.
it makes me really insane because I remember going to that seminar and being like, yeah, I need to know how to navigate and I will take whatever direction you give me.
You got to be Mrs.
And-
Ted Turner in the elevator.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Listen, nobody wants to be Mrs. Ted Turner because Mrs. Ted Turners do not last that long.
Ugh.
No, not like physically. They're fine. They
Oh.
all do very well. I'm just saying, like, Ted Turner did not
There.
stay married for long periods of time. That's all.
That's
all I'm saying.
Because he murdered
No,
them
he
all.
did
He
not.
murdered all of his wives.
He absolutely
That's my
did.
understanding.
It's not like Henry VIII. Yeah, no. But the point is, like, that was real for me.
Yikes.
So I guess I was thinking about these 3 women and how they fit into that.
Mhm.
You know,
I like how you're including the lady gremlin as
I
well.
mean,
she's
she's sort of. She's
I mean,
the lover.
for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
she's like, she wants to get married. Like that is
Yeah.
her thing. Is like
Yeah.
she's like, I mean, she's definitely like lusty,
Mhm.
and
yeah,
then
like she's definitely like just getting married so she can have sex. Like it's one of those
Yeah.
situations.
Yeah.
but like, what does she say? Like she's like, why won't you commit to
Yeah,
me?
yes.
Like that's
Yeah.
something she says.
Yeah.
the lady gremlin.
Yeah.
To the guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Like what?
That's the most lady thing a lady can do.
Yikes.
Is to want to pressure someone into marrying her and
Mm.
cornering him in a bathroom at the end. That was the button. That was the weird button, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you want to jump on
should
that?
we just jump into it?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
go jump
It
on
was
that.
We'll
not
come
as
back to
bad
your
as
woman theory.
we all remembered it being.
Yeah. Slightly,
Still-
like I'm-
Ever so slightly.
yeah. So it ends with everything's fine. They're cleaning up goo.
Yep.
We'll talk about the people cleaning up goo later. And the boss gets called from number 2. He's like, I'm trapped on the top floor. And he's like, oh, we can't get there for a while. You'll be fine. Keep your pants on. A little joke.
LOL.
Oh.
And then we
LOL.
cut to he's covered in cartoonish lip kisses,
Yep.
lipstick,
Lip
Lip-
kisses.
lip-
Yeah, lip kisses. You know.
lip kisses,
Yeah.
and terrified.
Yes.
So we are led to believe he's being sexually assaulted in the penthouse suite by
Lady Gremlin. Yeah.
That was where my memory ended. I was like, oh, this ends on a sexual assault joke, and it's a joke because it's a gender reversal.
Right.
So it's like better, but not
it's,
great.
It's
It's
still
not great.
problematic. Like the journey is still problematic.
Yeah.
But the button is not as bad as we thought it was.
But it ends with him essentially being like, no. All right, let's like his face says like, well,
sure, I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So like maybe they'll be very happy together.
yeah.
I mean, they won't talk about how they met, obviously, but
What?
that'd be pretty weird. Like, oh, all of her friends tried to murder the city of New York, and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was our problematic bud. It was a delight
And
watching
it
Beth and
was
Molly's
kinda-
faces during that scene.
yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, and it was
both- That's the
interesting.
face right
Yeah,
there.
I'm still
Yeah.
making it. I just like, yeah, the fact that like the other gremlins are being turned in, like they're being turned into animals and electricity,
Yeah.
and then this one is a woman.
Yes.
Like this is what a woman
Like
is.
that's like they're all being turned into monsters,
Yeah.
basically, and that is
Yeah.
the monster for
is-
that gremlin.
Yeah, that is
It's a
Yeah.
lusty woman.
Yes.
horrible.
Ooh, an independent woman with her own sexuality, terrifying.
Yeah.
But is she?
Is
don't
she?
know.
Because she just wants to get married.
Yeah, she's like the nagging like girlfriend. Like that's what
Yeah.
that's what the monster is.
Mm-hmm.
And like kind of the other, I mean she's not nagging, but like his fiance or girlfriend
Yeah.
is like, maybe we can get married if you get that promotion
Right.
or whatever. And then the other his boss is like using her sexuality to like control him, I guess.
She
Oh,
sees
'cause-
him as like she sees that Trump Turner is taking a shine to Billy, so she's
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna latch onto this guy
Yeah.
because he's on his way up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's entirely work ambition.
You could be like a work team that works together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could, or you can force him to shove Gizmo in a drawer while y'all go to a Canadian
They
restaurant.
clean the fish right at your table.
where they clean the fish right at your
Which
table.
is comically Canadian.
Yes.
I love this restaurant.
They're all just as Mounties.
Everyone's just as Mounties. There's a quick voiceover at the beginning where they say Gretzky party of 6. And,
I didn't hear that.
there's just giant like elk
Yeah.
heads on
Yeah,
the walls.
everywhere.
Like
Yeah.
it's in their table. Like it's coming out
Yes.
of the wall and like over their table.
They're drinking Molson beer out of steins that look like logs.
Yeah. They're presented with a giant chocolate mousse.
Yeah,
Like-
Moose
Which-
head,
For
which
real
really
made me
got
laugh.
Dan.
Like I
really
had,
got him.
This is my journey on my laugh. So it's a giant, like an actual mousse.
Yeah.
The chocolate mousse. It's a pun. It's funny. But they're presented, and in my brain I went like, "Oh, chocolate mousse."
Yep.
And then I was like, "That's dumb," but then I was like, "But it's also funny." And I went from a fake laugh to a real laugh. And I just,
I think because the server was so genuine about it. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's our best
Canadian.
dessert, chocolate mousse.
And then he was like,
Can I cut you off an antler?
No, he said, "Can I cut you off a
He said
horn?"
both. He said antler to Billy. And then Billy got
Oh.
terrified because she was shoving her foot into his genitals.
Oh, how is that really a move? Like,
mean-
I feel like I've seen that on TV.
I don't know, man.
I just don't feel. I mean, I don't know.
Seems dangerous.
It seems like there's a place for
Some
like
people like danger.
foot on
Yeah.
junk action.
And maybe it's
but-
like
Canadian
specifically
restaurant.
to like corporate culture where she's like, oh, I'm taking off my sensible pumps and I'm sticking my bare foot in your
Oh,
genitals.
you're my sensible stockinged foot. Oh, Lord bless us. I don't know. I maybe.
I
you know
mean-
what? Maybe I want to.
hey, to each their own.
Yeah.
We're sex positive on this podcast,
Yeah.
Molly.
No, and I'm
But
sorry.
also she's assaulting him. So.
Yeah, but also like maybe
No.
yeah.
All right. Let's take a quick moment to address the teens listening.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, teens.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Listen up.
Listen up. You go to a Canadian restaurant? Great. Great move.
Yeah.
Great restaurant.
Yeah.
Get consent before you shove your foot into each other's genitals.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Unconsensual foot to genital contact is not cool.
okay.
Well, we want you to cool it.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry there are multiple meanings for cool.
Yeah.
So cool it before you foot it.
Yes. Thank you.
Hashtag cool teens.
Wow.
And also don't aggressively kiss your underlings at your job.
Yeah, or really anyone.
Yeah.
At your job.
For whom you haven't received consent,
Yeah.
especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also be aware of the power dynamics in play in a workplace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah.
he went on that. He went out on that like weird dinner date.
Yeah, he
Didn't
did.
say what it really was.
Yeah.
He should have said like, "Hey, I got invited by my boss to go out to dinner. I don't really want to go, but I have to go." But instead, he was like, "I have to go on a meet." He lied to her,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He did.
and he comes back with a kiss a lip kiss on his face.
Comical lip
kiss.
kiss.
And she doesn't say a thing.
She
Yeah.
notes it.
Yeah,
she
does
clocks
note
it for
it.
later.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
but
bears
She's
it
a
down.
hoarder of feelings.
Yes,
Yeah.
agreed.
She's a hoarder of indiscretion.
Agreed.
And that shit all comes out in their fight later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's like the kind of person that when the shit hits the fan and there's finally a fight, she's got like 5 citations.
Yeah. She's
That
like
to
her
me-
and Gizmo. Like
Yeah.
they have the same arc, right? Where they just bury it in. They just suffer trauma, and then
Oh,
eventually
God,
they
poor
just
Gizmo.
snap
They had enough.
Yeah.
and they take control.
Take control, Rambo through.
Yeah, she's gonna Rambo through.
And
She-
then, yeah.
She also mentions toward the end, she starts talking about how she has trouble with Lincoln's birthday.
That was a callback
God.
to the first
and
movie.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful for many reasons.
Yes.
But in our episode, when we did Gremlins, they talk about how she doesn't like Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And so we made a joke about her not liking President's Day for
Yeah.
another reason,
Yeah,
right?
I think
and
so.
then that happens in this movie.
Great minds think alike.
Joe
I said, Joe
Dante.
Dante. What if we made a President's Day joke?
Chris Columbus.
Get over here. What's some other weird holidays?
Columbus Day's 2 on the nose.
Oh, can I say that? But that was only the second best Lincoln joke in the entire movie.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know where. I know we're jumping all over.
I mean,
wanna-
you can't not jump all over this movie.
The
wanna
movie
give-
is jumping all
insane.
like the movie jumps all over.
Yeah, I want to give one more moment to her Lincoln monologue. I loved
Yeah.
it so much because it's like very self-aware that she's doing the same monologue from
Yes.
the first movie, which is supposed to be a very heartfelt monologue about a serious thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then they're making fun of themselves, and she still fucking nails it.
She
Yeah.
nails it. Oh, she does such a good
Straightforward,
job.
Like, we're gonna see like a dramatic Oscars moment
Yeah.
monologue, and then they just like cut her off. Like we don't have time for this.
Yeah.
Let's move on. It's so good. It's
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
good.
she does a great job.
But yes, the other Lincoln joke.
Oh, okay. So this movie gets extremely meta. Right in the middle, there's a situation where the screen melts and the gremlins have taken over the movie theater.
Yeah,
Like
like the
from-
film stock actually like breaks.
Yeah, and the gremlins come on, and at this point I was feeling pretty grumpy about the gremlins because they're so like physically disgusting. But then they do this charming shadow puppet show where they make a bunny, and then they don't say it's Lincoln, but they just go 7 years ago, and
Yeah.
man, that really got me.
And it's like an absurdly implausible
Yeah.
hand shadow where
Oh,
like he
it's
has like an
impossible
8-inch
to-
hat. And, like,
Although they have weird
they
shaped
do have long
hands,
fingers.
unusual
That's
hands.
true.
It was really terrific, and I think it also got me because there's so much shadow play in that classic horror way throughout the film as
Yeah.
well. So it was perfect.
Should we just dive into that entire sequence right now?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the gremlins are making shadow puppets. Then they
They've interrupted
Gremlins
actual
2.
showing of Gremlins 2.
Gremlins 2, the new batch.
Yeah.
Then one of the gremlins just finds a softcore porn reel, I
Yeah,
guess.
like a vintage porno.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
says nudie, 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 and runs at the camera. Then it starts showing like nude women playing volleyball while leaves tastefully cover their breasts and genitals.
Yeah.
And then we cut to the lobby of a movie theater where a concerned mother pulls her child out.
Yeah.
and she tries to complain to the manager.
But the manager is like, we just show the movies looking directly at the camera.
Yeah. And it's shot in such a way that I feel like we should know who that manager
I think we're
is.
supposed to know who that is, yeah.
It's not Joe Dante.
No.
Oh, it was that other guy? Was it Ditka? No, he was
Mike
something else.
Ditka?
No,
Oh,
I know
Dick
Butkus.
Butkus?
Dick Butkus.
Well, I don't know who that is, but I've heard the name.
I don't think
I don't
that's
know.
him,
It
but
probably
maybe it
isn't
is.
him. Then where was he?
Maybe he was the janitor who was like, oh, I'm going to talk to myself while I fix this drinking fountain.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
But
I
anyway,
don't know.
the manager says he doesn't fix it, but then goes and does fix it.
Yeah,
But
bye.
the way...
But the way he fixes it is he goes and finds a cultural icon.
I mean,
Hulk
at the
Hogan.
time. Let's be fair. Cultural icon at
Hulk
the time.
Hogan not only stands up, turns to the camera, and delivers a short monologue, but he does so while ripping his tank top.
As he does.
It's a signature
he
Hulk
does.
move.
Yeah.
Oh.
But as he does it, he says, you think these Grimsters can handle the Hulkster? Also, it should be noted that like Hulk Hogan is watching the softcore porn, which means he was watching Gremlins 2
Yeah.
before the Gremlins ruined it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that also means that like the theater manager, that's just like their policy. It's like if Hulk is at the movie and there's a problem, just go get Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he'll solve it right away.
Yeah.
And
It's
really
amazing.
just by giving the gremlins a talking.
Yeah, they don't
to.
even respond.
Well, I
He
mean,
just, like,
once
yells
he rips
at
their,
them.
his shirt open, they're like, I surrender.
That's true. I mean, no, but you
But
can't.
how did they even get out of that building, right? Come on.
Into
What?
the movie
I
theater.
assume there's a
Yeah.
movie theater in the building, right?
Yeah.
Because there's like
Oh, yeah.
18,000
Oh, it's
channels.
supposed to be like the movie theater we're sitting in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
It's super
we're in
meta
that
that
building.
way.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
we're in
they
the building.
they reference
Leonard
Gremlins.
Maltin reviews the first movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if that's his actual review of the movie.
Oh,
I hope
God.
so.
That would
I
be
hope
amazing.
I hope they asked him
It's
to
a
do it.
scathing review.
Yeah.
I hope they asked him to come do it.
And then Gremlins murder him.
Yes. They choke him with film stock.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
choke him in a way where they pull him down and there's like a vip sound as he
Yeah.
falls back.
But this, I can't remember things. That's the purpose of our podcast. But this seems ahead of its time in its amount of self-awareness
Yes.
for
Mhm.
1990. Like, I don't feel like movies were doing that then, but it's like very aware of itself. Like the movie is happening while we're watching it.
It reminded
like
me
Airplane.
of a Muppet movie
Mhm.
in that
Oh,
way.
sure.
Like all of that kind of stuff happens all the time in Muppet movies.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm full of shit
Um,
then.
But I mean, and I guess in like cartoons and Looney Tunes and
Sure.
stuff like that too, they become
Oh,
self-aware
yeah.
in some
But
ways,
this is
and
like-
they address the
It's that
camera.
classic
and-
Yeah.
Daffy Duck one where the pencil keeps fucking
It's
with
a
him.
great cartoon.
But it ends
Duck
up
'em up.
being Bugs Bunny. Ain't I a stinker?
He is a stinker. He's a jerk. He's also a
He's a
sociopath.
monster.
Wow.
This one though, I think I kind of get what you're saying though, Dan, because like this one, like part of that self-awareness is like they specifically comment on like how people felt about the first movie.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
seems like there were
I
a lot of throwaway lines about like I don't know, just either like you like oh if, like you hated it or like oh these gremlins are so gross and
Yeah,
like why
it felt
would
like
anyone
they were pulling real
like
bad
reviews
reviews
or
Yeah.
something?
of the first
Yeah,
one.
Well,
yeah.
because there's definitely, I think the part where she starts to do the monologue and they're like, we don't have time for this, is probably because people were like, that part was so weird and
Yeah.
like out of place in
Yeah.
the movie originally.
Oh, and all those moments where they have in the control
yeah,
booth.
yeah, and they're asking about like what the rules are
Oh,
for the
yeah.
Gremlins.
Yeah,
like
that felt like real questions
Yeah.
that Joe Dante
for
got.
sure,
Yeah.
like
Feels
out
like-
on the street,
Yeah.
like eating dinner
Total
Yeah.
Comic
Yeah.
Con
in L.A., where people
Yeah.
would just come up to him and be like, "Mr. Dante, please, what happens if the gremlins on a plane?"
Oh, hey, Chris George's out there?
come see the Gremlins too. I'm Joe Dante. I do Gremlins too.
You think that's the only
And
reason he
so,
made it?
like, as those jokes are happening, it
Mm-hmm.
was actually one of my favorite moments is when a gremlin comes out in the middle
Oh,
of one of
yeah.
those hypotheticals and just eats the person asking the question.
It's so good.
It was a
'cause,
good
yeah,
jump scare.
Yeah, Billy is in there like freaking out because there's monsters in the building,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody in the control room is just having a field day shitting on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, okay, but what if they're on a plane
Yeah.
and blah, blah, blah. And then, yeah, like you said, Grandma aggressively jumps through and just like murders
Just starts
dude.
like, just massacring a dude and like biting that lady's arm. She got an extra per diem for that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
It was great.
But then also, was that also one of the times where like once the gremlin ran away, there was like a little like whoop, 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 or something? I don't even remember. No, because I guess that was like the scary gremlin who tortured
Yeah.
Gizmo. So I guess he didn't get as many cartoon noises. As the
I
other
don't know.
ones.
Can we talk? When do we get to talk about the salad gremlin?
Oh yeah, we should just talk about all the gremlins.
Okay, let's do the Gremlins.
All
Here's
right.
the ones we predicted.
Yeah.
A dumb one.
Yes.
The
yeah.
squiggly
Buck
eyes?
teeth.
Yeah, that's an original new batch.
Yeah.
Okay. Is
Oh.
that different than googly eyes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's buck teeth.
Yes.
Got it.
That's the one that Kate accidentally takes home instead of Gizmo?
Googly eyes should take some
Take
extra.
some googly eyes.
Who's a jerk?
Dumb one doesn't get a lot of screen
He
time.
just has buck
Okay.
teeth and
Yeah.
just
Oh.
goes like, "Buh."
Okay.
A lot.
Got it.
Meat Gremlin.
No.
Okay. Well,
I mean, they're all kind of meat gremlins, right?
yeah,
Ugh.
it's kind of gross, but no.
Gross.
I guess we
that was a
could
real
we could
shot in
argue
the
that the
dark.
one that gets shoved into a paper shredder is like meat gremlin. 'Cause that was basically like
That was
hamburger
more like
colored green, right?
guacamole,
I
am
don't
I
know.
right?
Wait, what?
Oof.
Hamburger colored green?
Yeah.
Oh, hamburger colored green.
Yes.
Yeah.
you were saying hamburger color green.
Oh, like the
hamburgers-
green, the
yeah.
variant of green we all know as hamburger.
Yeah. It's like, oh no.
I appreciate your
Probably
generosity,
shouldn't be
but I think
eating
meat did not have
hamburgers
it.
anymore.
Yeah. I will say salad one for me was the grossest.
Oh,
my
for
god,
sure.
I love
When
salad.
they pick off that olive or whatever to put into the
was
martini.
great.
Oh.
He's just like has vegetables as
like growths.
pustules on his
Oh.
face.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
and
like-
they popped out
It's
one
like
at a time. I
vegetable
really thought I was
tumors.
going to
It's
hurl.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
So bad.
And we know that's going to happen because the guy had developed a tomato that could bounce around for air travel.
Oh, right.
yeah.
And then the gremlin drank the potion. He goes, he's drinking my vegetable medley. Which apparently that's all it is. It's just
The-
like a juicer.
So how do you think this character came to be?
The salad gremlin?
Yeah, was it a
Balance.
joke? Is it a dare?
Ooh, maybe.
Yeah, it's just Joe Dante being like, "You said 100%," and then they tried to note him on something. It was like, "You said 100%." Now there's a salad gremlin in it.
Do you think that's what it was?
Oh, hey, you don't like my bat symbol gremlin? How about a salad gremlin? 100% Warner Brothers.
I hope to God, literally every gremlin except the smart one was just him responding to notes out of spite. Because like the brain one is obviously like crucial to the plot because he's like the mastermind, right? So you have to have some reason the gremlins are even smart enough to do like the shit at the bottom of the building.
Yeah.
But yeah, every single other gremlin was just like,
Well,
Joe.
I don't know about the brain gremlin,
Yeah.
Joe.
Or like just like Joe, does the guy have to be like dressed as Dracula the entire movie? It's just like, you know what?
The one with the mohawk also is a spider now.
What if the Google Ad one's gonna do that dentist joke that I don't actually get the reference to, even though every single television
yeah.
show has always made that joke.
Yeah, Running Man.
Is that what it's from?
Is it,
Wait,
no.
what is it? What does he say?
It's the one with
Is it
Dustin
safe?
Hoffman. Is it safe?
Mhm.
It's not
Running
safe.
Man's with Arnold
Schwartz.
Schwarzenegger. Do you mean
I was-
Rain Man?
No, that can't be in Rain Man where Tom Cruise straps him down to a dentist chair.
Oh, I don't know.
No,
you said
it's
Dustin Hoffman.
It's Dustin Hoffman though. He
Dude,
says
I
it.
don't
He
know.
says
see.
it's at
He's like
A
in living a nightmare scenario. He wakes up in a dentist chair
Oh.
and he says, "Is it safe?" And I don't remember what the answer is, but it is definitely not
Little
safe.
Shop of Horrors.
Oh, okay.
No, this is a really dark movie. I can't
Oh.
remember what it's called though. I'm sorry, nerds. There's so many people screaming at their
Hey,
speaker right now. I'm so
Shut up,
sorry.
Joe, are you really gonna have the gremlin sing New York, New York? You know what? Now I'm just gonna have a gremlin who looks like Abe Vigoda for no reason.
I feel like a musical number got cut.
You think so?
I believe that
Yeah.
Our Lady Gremlin
Oh,
gets
yeah,
all
maybe.
set
Oh,
up for
yeah.
a solo, and I
That's
just wonder
a
if they couldn't get the
real-
music rights.
yeah. Cut
It's
that
a real
out.
letdown. 'Cause
Maybe
they
that's where
have a
Salad Gremlin came
beautiful-
from. They were like Joe's like I need the rights to this song. Like for what? It's like, oh, I got this hot lady gremlin. We're gonna do this whole choreographed number where all the other gremlins put on a big picture of her, and then she comes out, sings a beautiful
Her
ballad
eye.
before they go to murder New York. No, Joe, I don't
know.
think.
Okay, yeah, Flasher Gremlin's back. His Flasher Gremlin
forgot.
is back.
Yes.
Flasher Gremlin was back. Oh, but also like I love how the way they called it back was that Kate got like her moment where she also was like, "Oh, not again," and just kicked him
Yeah.
real hard.
Right in the
Junk?
Buster Browns.
Oh.
I mean, if they had genitals,
Yeah.
which they don't.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, when Flasher Gremlin came back, 3/4 of us put our hands in the air.
Yeah.
Then there was like a random just like saxophone gremlin at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That lobby scene, like that was probably like a freeze frame Easter egg delight. Like, because we only caught a few of the rando puppets just all over the place.
We can dream 3 cigarette gremlin was in there somewhere.
Oh, for sure, right?
Oh,
There was
definitely.
a
Leather jacket
gremlin who took the time to screen print a T-shirt with just Gizmo's picture on it and one of those little crossbar
yeah.
circles over
There
it.
has to be a graphic designer gremlin because there's also like a please stand by like
Oh,
slate
right.
and it has a gremlin on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just a tailor in
Yeah.
general.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
They're
a
all just tiny
haberdashery.
outfits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brain Gremlin has like 3 costume changes.
Yeah.
He had to go get like there's an optometrist.
Oh yeah,
gremlin.
we need to take a moment to appreciate that the brain potion, like he goes into some sort of crazy science seizure and then just like produces glasses like
Yeah.
out of his body
Yeah.
or something.
I think I think that's the clothes are part of them.
Oh, do you think it's
'Cause
like?
there's no way there's a tiny tailor
Do
running
you
around.
think it's like?
There's no way there's a tiny tailor. Everything is possible in this
Yeah,
building.
all the gremlins all like they take to certain jobs. Remember, one of the first ones we see is wearing a little sleeveless tee
I love the
and a construction helmet.
the
and he
electrician
starts messing
gremlin.
with the power of the tower.
Yeah.
Do you think they're like Mystique in the X-Men movies, where like the skin can just sort of like
Oh.
shape themselves into clothes?
Yeah. Okay, I do.
I mean, I guess they
and
have
at
to.
one point, the Frasier one, the Brainiac one, says we don't know anything about New York. I'm like, yeah, you do. You know everything about everything. These gremlins have previous life information.
Yeah.
They know who Gizmo is. They know they don't like Gizmo.
Yeah.
They know
Recognize the
Gizmo's
microwave.
weaknesses.
Yeah.
They recognize the microwave. Like, are they just like, is it because they are foreign from the cell structure of Gizmo that they have this institutional memory?
I don't know.
Oh,
A
maybe
shared
they're
memory?
like those. Is that what butterflies have that?
What?
Okay, butterflies, like the ones that migrate long distances. I don't know. Maybe they all
Monarchs?
do. Monarchs for sure. They like, they'll fly down south,
Right.
and then they'll fly back. But none of them are alive that long.
Right.
So they're flying along the same path, but it's like passed down through, like no one. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a parent would fly down and a child would fly back, but
Right.
how does it know where to go? They always go to the same spot. It's like in their DNA, the memory.
So okay, so does that mean that Gizmo hates itself?
I mean, sure. These are his inner demons coming out.
Right.
Ooh.
I mean,
Or is it like a negative, like a picture negative?
like he's expelling his negative energy.
Oh.
And that's how he stays so chill. It's like every few years he gets himself wet and just like pops out a
out.
couple of just
Rage
angry
and-
psycho.
So maybe he's like, he
Stupidity.
doesn't like salad, and he has a fear of women
Yeah.
and
I mean,
electricity.
science did it to them, right?
Oh,
yeah,
It
you're
started
right.
that way.
Okay, good point.
So he doesn't like, he's afraid, he's insecure about his intelligence. So there's
Yeah.
dumb gremlin. He's insecure
eyes.
about his eyes, his big weird eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a grumpy gremlin.
There is a gremlin.
And
so
there's
like,
a rage gremlin.
yeah, rage.
They
Mohawk
mentioned the
gremlin.
Seven Dwarfs, which Beth
Yeah.
and I gave each other a mental high five.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
I agree.
Gizmo is like full on traumatized at the end of this movie, though, right?
Oh, this
Yeah, I
poor
mean, that's the
Gizmo.
second time that he's watched all of his children die.
Yeah, and like there was this weird. I mean, there was the whole thing where he's tortured by the Mohawk Gremlin for the entire movie, and then
Yeah.
snaps and becomes Rambo. Which, as Dan reminded me at the beginning of the movie when Gizmo was watching Rambo, is literally about like a war veteran just in complete PTSD, like losing it and just trying to like regain control of his own life in the worst, most violent way possible.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in the other movie where he drives around the toy store in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was all ready for that scene to happen. I got very excited for a
No,
second.
this is one where he has a bow and arrow.
That he makes up a paperclip.
It's
He
adorable.
loves a
It
paperclip.
is adorable. Oh, his paperclip chain to like
Yeah.
climb stuff.
So
That's
cute.
like his tool of choice.
It is. Anyway, so he is like messed up to the point where like it's even. I mean, they even wrote it into the script where Kate is like, "What happened to him?" Like
Yeah.
even she can tell through like the fur ball that he is like severely traumatized.
I feel like the copier trauma was the worst one.
Oh right, bright
That
light,
was
bright light,
bright light.
and being
Aw.
squished real
Yeah.
hard,
That's rough. It's like, yeah, it's like Mogwai waterboarding.
basically.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really sad.
And then like, but then at the end I'm thinking like we're already like, oh my god, like Gizmo is so traumatized. And then at the end there's just like they keep lingering on him, just like watching all of the gremlins melt into a puddle of ooze.
Ugh.
Ugh,
And
yeah.
like he seems to be sort of horrified on some level, but then at the end he has this like weird little smirk.
Yeah.
And you're sort of like, oh no, he's broken forever.
Correct.
Yeah,
Like he's so happy to see like the destruction of his own kind.
man. That
Yeah,
love-
I mean that's Gremlins 3, right? It's like another Mogwai, and they find him in like a cave, like completely burned out.
They find Gizmo.
Gizmo, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like Christopher Walken in Apocalypse Now. No,
What?
the other one. What's
What?
the one where they just find him playing Russian roulette in the back in Nam?
Deer Hunter.
Deer Hunter.
Ooh.
Good job, Beth.
Thank you. It's
He's got like a. He's got like
Oh,
a.
is it on
AFI's
the
100
AFI?
greatest films,
Okay.
which
got
I've
like
seen
a
all
Super
of them.
Soaker
and
6-shooter.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what happens after that?
I don't know. He's just burned out. Then they're like, "You got to come back."
Oh,
and he's
yeah.
like, "Ah." And then he gets, he
Right.
probably has to die still.
Gizmo?
Yeah, that's how that
Jeez.
Ah.
arc plays out, right? But after he redeems himself by saving the younger Mogwai.
Yeah.
Right. From
Yeah.
like some sort of like helicopter gremlin or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is in 3 where they didn't weaponize him in this one intentionally.
They
So number 3 is
definitely
definitely
weaponized, yeah.
the military gets a
Yeah,
hold of them.
like
Yeah.
Clamp Corp sees the video of Christopher Lee getting murdered by Electro Gremlin. It's like, oh shit, that's where the money is.
Yeah.
Weaponized monsters.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think when he's like marketing.
Gizmo?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
like sees Gizmo, and then he's like, "We got to. Do you know about marketing? We got to make like merchandise. Like, there's somebody in the army who knows about them, and they're like, oh my gosh,
Mm-hmm.
they're real."
Yeah.
And they find him.
I'm just
Gremlins
saying,
3.
Man.
ripe for a reboot.
I feel like you could do Gremlins 3 just as a cleanup of the
Yes.
lobby.
Right?
It was
my
really
God.
messy. One, and I know we haven't gotten to MVPs. I know
do
we'll
it.
get there
No,
someday.
let's go.
but
I mean,
one
half
of-
this movie is populated by MVPs.
I
Let's go
mean,
oh
for
my
it.
God.
It was
Damn, it's so
incredible.
good.
I have so many
Yeah.
MVPs.
And half of them can be most valuable puppets. But
Uh,
for this one, it is real people, and it's at the end. Like there's this green goo everywhere of these
Yeah.
melted gremlins. And you see people walking in hazmat suits, which is fine. But these extras are carrying like snow shovels and they're carrying them in this weird way and just kind of moving their bodies in a way that indicates they have no idea what to do to even pretend to be like
Baby Joe. Baby Joe was like, okay, so you've come in to clean up the lobby, but hey, we might have to shoot this a couple of times, so don't move the goo too much.
that's probably literally what
Yeah.
happened.
Don't shovel up too much goo. Are you kidding me? It took us 3 hours to
What
flood
are you
this
doing back
set.
there? Look like you're shoveling goo. Don't shovel goo.
Who is this guy?
they just look overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
I picture he's like, hey, you just entered a building that's covered in green goo. Okay, I want to see confusion.
Yeah.
I want to see overwhelmed. I want to see even the hazmat suits don't know what to do right now. That's what I want to see.
But then they are supposed to be shoveling all into giant barrels that just say danger.
Danger. Huge. Oh, quick sidebar of amazing labels in this movie. At one point, there's just a vial of acid that says, acid, do not throw in face.
And the gremlin grabs it,
Throws
throws
it.
the other gremlin's face.
Oh my
And
God.
then the gremlin immediately, out of nowhere, grabs a Phantom of the Opera mask, puts it over his face.
Yeah.
We later see that gremlin playing organ, and then this is like related to nothing. It's just like a chaos scene.
Joe, I just want to give a quick note that I think the movie could be improved upon if it was just a little bit classier, like, you know.
Oh, classy, like a Phantom of the Opera. Now there's a Phantom of the Opera gremlin in here.
You want some culture? What if I reference Andrew Lloyd friggin' Webber?
We're gonna put a princess in there. Maybe that's actually a Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah, I don't know. That happened in the middle of Brain singing New York, New York.
Yes,
Like,
right.
it's just,
Chaos. Complete chaos.
like they took like what I love about that whole concept of that lobby is like some of them just went down there because like some like all the obviously the Gremlins as a collective are just chaos agents, but like clearly all of them have like their own like personal goals, right? So like Fan of the Opera Gremlin at some point was just like, oh, I gotta find the organ in this building and wheel it down to the lobby
The me-sized
for the
organ.
big number.
for the big number.
Because clearly they planned that number,
Yeah.
right?
And then another gremlin was like, I got to get a costume.
Yeah.
It's extremely elaborate for the lady who runs into the Phantom of the
Yes.
Opera.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
It's
back
like I
to
thought of everything.
back to MVPs. My
Yes.
number, probably my number 1 through 7,
Uh-huh.
are the collection of mimes that
Yes.
we
Oh
see
my God.
offloaded
This-
from the police
Yeah.
truck.
Yeah.
In my mind, like the first movie has 2 nuns in a rickshaw.
Yes.
This one has 7 mimes in a police truck.
Literally, Billy is taken to the police station. His girlfriend comes to bail him out. The scene opens. Billy is not even in frame yet, and there are police bringing down 200 mimes out of this wagon, each of which takes a moment to stop, do a little mime thing.
Joe, I think there's just the puppet budget is going a little high. There's just too many.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. We are making too many puppets. What if I just get like 7 mimes to just pop up in the middle of a scene, and I just linger the camera on them for much longer than is necessary? How's that? How's that?
All right. Yeah, and they just like they mime like crazy.
They mime
I
like
just want to
crazy.
say, I was a roller coaster of ratings
Yes, you were.
on this movie.
I think you gave it 7 at that point.
I
think
did.
it's-
I
yeah.
was down to 2.
Yeah, then
And
like
then
mime
it lingered on
1.
mime, and I was like 7
Oh my God.
out of the gate.
It's amazing.
And it's one of those things where, and you can tell like this is exactly Joe Dante's philosophy about this movie, because like 1 mime, you would have been like, "Are you kidding me? This is insane."
Yeah, like what?
1, but
Why?
he's just like, "No, the entire truck
Yeah.
is filled with mimes."
Clown car amount of mimes.
What are they being arrested
Right?
for?
Like what other story has happened in
What
the
is
mean
their
streets of
crime?
New York?
I want to
that
see
night?
that movie, by the way.
Oh,
Mime crime.
rhyme crime.
Bum.
I would watch whatever movie that came from.
Oh.
Some other MVPs I have are related. So they do a lot of LOL. Isn't it funny how many cable channels there are? We
Yes.
see like the different
Oh,
placards
yeah.
of the channels.
Yeah.
One of them is the archery channel, and we see just a characterization of Robin Hood
Yeah.
come out, snap his arrow, throw it down like a little kid, so angry, and just storm out of the frame. It's so good.
Yeah.
Wait, did we talk about how like the one character is dressed like Dracula the entire time?
yet.
We did. I mean, I think we touched on it like
Hold on.
briefly.
Before we leave MVPs.
Wait, I have more
Oh,
MVPs.
good. Yeah.
So one of my MVPs is the woman who can't stop staring at him, and it's like,
Yes, when they're just like out in the lobby.
yeah, he like walks out in the lobby, and she just like, I mean, clearly she's an extra, and they're like, okay, just like take a good look at him,
Right.
just because it looks weird, right? But she like stepped too close to the camera, and Joe's like, I love it, keep it,
Yeah, like, yeah.
great job, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have you in my next film.
Yeah, I think she was probably trying to like just walk by and like just kind of glance at
Yeah.
Dracula, like
Yeah.
kind of glance at Graham Dracula, but like you can tell like even she wasn't prepared for
Yeah.
how ridiculous it was gonna look. On the opposite side of that, some of my MVPs are literally the population of New York, where Futterman is literally being attacked by a living gargoyle on the streets of New York, flailing around, blood streaming down his forehead. People are literally just walking past him, not even looking up the 2 inches to see the bat gremlin.
Yep.
And like, I get that the gremlin was like added to that scene through like, I don't know, animation or whatever, but like, Joe couldn't have like given them a little more direction, just like, there's a freaky bat thing right above your heads. But maybe
Hey,
that was
it's New
intentional. He's
York,
like, hey,
yeah.
only in New York, am I right?
Oh man. One of my MVPs is the clamp announcement system.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that
yes.
was my last one.
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
god.
I did not remember that at all.
That was
So
really
good.
funny.
Amazing.
It was so good.
And they did such a good job of like escalating the joke, right?
Yeah.
Because at first it was just this very like LOL corporate of the future thing. It was like, the elevator door is now open. Please leave. Or like,
if you have license plates,
oh yeah, your
whatever.
car is old and dirty. Please remove it from the parking lot. But then Kate pulls the fire alarm, and like the PA goes off on this like soliloquy about like that most ancient of destruction.
Yeah.
I like the one where it's like, you may notice the building is malfunctioning.
Oh, yeah.
Don't pay attention.
Oh yeah, please ignore it.
Please ignore.
It's really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there were actually like, since I saw this much as a kid, I was just like, this is great. It's a bunch of crazy monsters who are also Looney Tunes. But watching this as an adult, like, it's actually, there's a lot of like satirical elements about just like, I don't know. I mean, Joe was a guy in the 80s, so he's just like, wow, America is crazy right now. And you can tell like a lot of the human characters were a response to that, right? Because like the boss is clearly Trump and Ted Turner
Yeah.
at the same time, which is impressive, honestly.
Yeah.
And just, like all of the culture of the building where like everything is automated for no reason, and like they have these crazy video phones that like don't really work, but you clearly like they just got them because they're the new thing, and that's what new innovative businesses are supposed
and
to
there's
have.
like an extreme level of control over the building, and like the art.
Oh
sucks,
yeah,
but
where
Yeah.
it goes off on this whole
expensive.
thing about like, we've acquired licensed art for our employees to enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and it's so perfect to 80s art too.
Uh,
Just shapes and colors.
Yeah. Speaking of satire and Ted Turner, should we talk about that
Oh, that
CNN
final- yeah.
broadcast thing?
Oh, it's so good.
Okay.
So basically, everything has gone bananas inside the building, and somehow, what are we calling him? Trump Turner?
Yeah.
Uh,
Mr. Clamp.
Mr.
Or Clamps or whatever.
Mr. Clamp is, come around to realizing that the situation is very bad, and so he puts in the tape, the end of the world tape. So Turner has an end of the world tape, and you can find it online.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So this is like the brain of Ted Turner. This is like one of the reasons I really love this man, is that when he started CNN, he was like, we should have a tape for when the world ends, because I think it's pretty prescient. Like, the news is on 24 hours a day, so
Yeah.
we're going to need something to play
Yeah.
when the world is a smoldering mess and a few people are tuning in and we're no longer able to like man the station.
Yeah.
And this tape is like, I don't know how to describe
No.
it, but it's really similar to what they show in the
Yeah.
movie. Like it's nature scenes and it's the American flag.
It's like
And-
almost like a karaoke like background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like sort of a montage of like what would your last images of
Yeah.
at least United States
Yes.
culture be.
Right.
And then it pans out, or it's either out or
I don't
in,
remember, yeah.
on the old Turner campus, like the old mansion that Ted Turner started his enterprise in. And I think this when this tape got made. And one of my former colleagues has this running joke about how, like, on your last moment on Earth, you would be thinking, like, whatever did happen to the Java City, which is like the coffee shop that's right inside the lobby. Like, what? Like, yeah, the last visual is the old Turner campus. I don't know how to explain.
Yeah, like you should, like, I mean, by
should
you, I
watch
mean
it.
Beth and Dan, but also whoever's listening to this, like, you should definitely find it on YouTube because it is
Yeah, we'll
one.
tweet it up.
What? Oh yeah, we should tweet
We'll
out
tweet
because
that
like
out.
one is just sort of like bonkers as a concept. Like
Yeah.
if you could imagine just like if you could imagine following the destruction of everything you know of in the world and then this suddenly just appearing on your TV screen.
Or like being given the task of putting
making it.
yes, some
Yes.
intern, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because all the people who worked at Turner when they started out were super young, and they only they didn't staff up for 24 hours a day
Yeah.
because they didn't think that through because nobody ever done a 24-hour news network. So
Right.
they had everybody trained in everything.
Yeah.
So people could edit and write and do everything that was required, which makes me think that there was probably one person who got tasked with making this video. And they were tasked with making a video that, if all goes well, no one would ever see.
Yes.
What a weird assignment. Like, how does that even...
That would be a great
Can
little
you-
documentary.
Right?
Making of that video.
Yeah.
Can you imagine getting that assignment? I'm just like, hey, come in here for a second. Come in here. So Ted wants us to make a tape that we only play if we're all gonna die. Do you think you could get on that?
Yeah, some nature stuff, some patriotic stuff,
Yeah,
a marching band.
It's pleasant. It's American.
Yeah, like you want people to relax. You don't want to stress people out even more. I mean, it's already gonna be so
Ted wants it
stressful.
to end with the Turner campus.
Or like they made one already, and it's like, listen, I
wants-
ran it up to Ted, and like what you've done is beautiful, but he really wants to remind you that this is a Turner network.
And he wants to remind everyone in their last second of
Yeah.
being on Earth. Turner
Yeah,
Broadcasting.
I mean, they brought you this.
Yeah.
They brought you this.
Yeah.
I feel like that would result in everybody trying to get to Turner.
Oh, like they think
right?
it's a symbol of like, this is the last
like-
safe
this
place
is
on
our
Earth.
safe
Gotta get
haven
to
is.
Java City, pick
Yeah.
up a macchiato.
Wow.
But yeah,
Mochaccino.
but honestly, like check it out, and then either if you remember this part of the movie, or just find this part of Gremlins 2, like it is such a dead ringer for this actual video,
Yeah,
and it is ridiculous.
it's great.
That's great.
Would recommend. Oh, and just one more thing. The Clamp Center logo outside of the building is the world turning inside a vice,
Yeah.
like inside a clamp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which is also the letter
It's being
C.
squished.
Yeah,
like
it's being squished.
deliberately misshaping
Yeah,
the
it's true.
planet
It's
Earth.
like mushed down. It is like the second best logo to the one in the office, which is the
What?
Office
round
space.
office space.
Oh yeah, where it's
Ooh.
like a
a square peg in a
square
round
peg
hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, this was
so
really
good.
like this was again like it was very self-aware, and it was a movie that was made after all of the 80s, which, as we've discussed before, every movie had just like massive American 80s corporation.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this was basically that turned up to 11, and then also there's crazy puppets inside.
Wow.
Wow.
I had two more MVPs.
Okay, please.
Oh, we should also talk about Dracula. The kids on the tour. I loved all the kids on the tour.
Uh-huh.
Like each new one was a fresh, awkward kid that
Yeah.
I was in love with.
Yep.
And then the first cabbie that
Oh yeah.
Futterman's.
No,
Yeah.
this is Billy and Kate.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're gonna miss something, so we'll take a cab.
Yep.
It's just like a Russian guy, I
Yep.
guess,
Yeah.
and he just like swears at them, and that's it.
He specifically asked, like, you going to the airport? And they
yeah.
go, no. And he just goes, yeah. And drives away.
that guy's trolling around only looking for airport fares. Maybe he's got to get there.
Yeah, maybe.
I love those guys.
Yep.
But yeah, so Dracula.
Oh, one last
is-
MVP.
oh.
Street Dog.
Yeah,
Street
street
dog?
dog.
Street
Just when
dog.
Billy and Kate, or when Kate's going back to their shitty apartment, there's
Yeah.
just like this random scene of like, "Hey, New York living, am I right?" And literally just like a pretty like clean looking
Yeah, it's
golden
like
retriever.
it's the cleanest golden
Just,
retriever.
like,
It's like
walks up-
literally like Joe Dante's dog.
Probably, yeah.
He's like,
Muffins, go eat the garbage.
look, look, wife, I put our dog in the movie for you.
Huh? The suits said they wouldn't like it. I said, screw him, put the dog in.
I don't know if we should tattoo the Warner Brothers logo onto a gremlin, Joe.
And people might associate that with the monsters.
Oh, now my dog's in the movie. And he's eating garbage.
Now my dog.
7%. Okay, so Dracula's in this movie.
Yeah, Grandpa Dracula.
It's like the B storyline. It's
Yeah.
like Billy's friend at work.
Yes.
Who's like an old man who just does like a horror show at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like
He's like the Crypt Keeper. kind
yeah,
of.
he's like a take on Grandpa Munster, and then his show, yeah, is like Elvira's like
Yeah.
horror
Oh,
midnight
right.
movie or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's got like puppets, a little puppet guy.
Yeah, but he dresses as Dracula the entire
The
time,
entire time.
and he's got a whole arc. He wants
Yeah.
to be a newsman,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but he can't because I don't remember why.
Old? Was he old? Is that what it was?
No, I think people just didn't take him seriously, and then somehow he got cast in this other thing.
Oh,
and
and he
he
just
was
kind of like
typecast.
became his
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
he's dressing as Dracula all the time.
Yeah, maybe take
Do you
off
think
his
this was expressing Joe Dante's feeling of being typecast as only a horror, only a Gremlins
Oh.
Whoa.
director?
Maybe.
Whoa.
Like a new comedy.
I mean, because he was one of the most pronounced characters, one of the
That's
biggest
true.
character
Yeah.
arcs, probably much bigger than Billy.
Are you
who
saying Joe
barely
Dante
changes.
secretly wanted to make like hard hitting documentaries
I mean,
or something?
possibly. I mean, there's a lot of environmental message in this.
but
yeah.
he ends up. He's the only one in the building.
Yep.
And so he does the news coverage. He does like a sit down interview
With
show
the
with
brain
the brain
Frasier.
gremlin.
Yes.
And then at the end, he gets like he gets on the 6 o'clock news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clamp just comes in and is like, "You did great,
Mm-hmm.
but get some new clothes." And then he's like,
Get
I
him
love someone give him a credit card." That's what he says to like his little entourage.
Yeah, that whole ending sequence was also just sort of like a weird thing where it was like a happy ending, but it was also still like a biting satire of like modern consumerist American culture because
Yeah.
like everybody gets what they want, but only because Trump Turner is just kind of like looking for a win and wants to feel magnanimous because he didn't actually do anything. So he like loves Billy's drawing of his own hometown and wants to rebuild it in New Jersey.
And call it Clamp
Clamp
Town.
Corner.
Clamp Corner.
Mhm. He makes Marla his new head of something because
Publicity.
she is leveraging her lover role, clearly.
Yeah. See?
And then he just gives Grandpa the 6 o'clock news for no real reason other than I guess he had the chutzpah to kidnap a tourist who knew cameras.
Oh man,
He
there's
is
so
a
much.
camera.
He is a
Ah.
camera. That was so much racism in that. It
I
was
don't
real.
understand that.
That was a big stereotype. Oh, you mean the? I don't know
The
which
line
part.
I am a camera.
Well, the stereotype, I understand the stereotype, right? Like
Yeah.
that like Asian tourists love to take pictures or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
But like what does he mean I am a, like I feel like that was supposed to be very funny and he's like I am a camera.
Just 'cause
Oh,
he's like
I think it's-
one with his equipment.
And he
Oh,
always
okay.
takes pictures
Yeah,
of everything.
Okay.
But
guess.
you're right. It got delivered in a way that you were like, "Is it something else?
Yeah.
Is there something else I'm supposed to know?" Yeah, I had that same feeling.
Maybe
Yeah.
there was. Maybe that was like in his back pocket. Joe, like in case there was one more in the studio, Joe Dante had like filmed a scene where that character literally like turned into a cyborg cameraman.
He's in the lab and is just a
Drinking camera
beaker with
juice?
a camera
Yeah.
picture on it. Well, I'll take this.
It's part camera.
Develops in 1 hour.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, so they get the 6 o'clock news.
Yes. And to Kate's credit, she actually leverages Trump Turner's enthusiasm into a better career for them. Like Billy's just like, oh, it's just my hometown. I like it. And then he's like, oh yeah, I want to build this in New Jersey. You can help me. And then Kate is sort of like, well, I mean, to design an entire town or whatever. And then he's like, oh yeah, we'll make a deal or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
kinda
He's like, "I'll buy the design from you, and we'll make it great."
Pushes
Yeah.
it into like an actual deal instead of just like, here's $50.
Yeah.
Give me your hometown
I'm just
design.
gonna take
But
this
yeah,
design.
what a weird next job, like to
Yes.
redesign your hometown as a planned community.
In New Jersey.
Maybe it's like a Disney dig too. I feel like there's some Disney digs in here.
You think so?
Like
Yeah.
fake the small town experience.
Yeah, and fake like the Chinatown experience,
Mhm,
and like
mhm.
yeah, there's definitely lots of pieces.
Yeah.
100% Joe.
Yeah. It's coming at you.
It's coming at you.
Joe, there's just too much. I think there's too much goo.
That was definitely a note from some suit at Warner Brothers. Like, there's a lot of
Bless his
ooze.
soul.
I want 10 times more goo.
Joe Dante, I do goo movies now.
You know what? The whole lobby's going to be filled with goo.
I was only gonna do 7 Gremlins,
Yeah.
then 20. Now approximately
Yeah.
300.
Literally, the movie was originally just going to be the original new batch, the Mohawk one, the dumb one, the crazy one, and the old man who kind of looks like Ava Goda. And that was it. And they were just going to run amok. And it would be more like Die Hard with just a small group of elite monsters.
Yeah.
And then he just kept getting studio notes and just kept adding more goo and cartoon characters.
Yeah. That's really good.
It's insane. I mean, it's like I feel kind of bad that we seem to we just jumped around this entire movie the entire time, but also I don't know how else to talk about this
No.
movie.
There's no other way.
Yeah,
Like, we couldn't go from beginning to end. It would make no
Why?
sense.
because we keep having to go off on tangents anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, for real. It did pass the Bechdel Wallace,
Yes.
by the way,
Hats.
which I thought was
Couple
pretty
times.
Hat talk.
incredible. There was just a brief exchange.
Oh, and
Kate and Marla.
Kate Marla, and then did Mrs. Futterman have a real name?
Do
you remember?
It's just Mrs. Futterman. But I mean, it is a name.
Yeah,
I
I think
guess.
that counts as a
Because
She
they
was
talked.
listed.
Kate and her talked a bit at the apartment, I think.
Yeah, I mean, in that way, it was one of the more progressive films we've seen. So
Certainly.
that's not depressing.
Also, a lady puppet.
Oh, man.
Huh?
Yeah.
How
You know
many
what? I
lady
think-
puppets were in Star Wars? Huh, George?
Yeah,
Huh?
George.
Huh?
George.
George?
George says no more lady puppets.
Oh. You might say
yeah. Well, I feel like Hank Crestorn outdid himself
Wow.
Did
He really
ever?
crushed
those
it.
puppets were actually really
And
incredible.
costumes?
in costumes. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what if I make some real lifelike hands on Gizmo for some close-up bow crafting work?
Hank, I want you to do whatever you want. I'm Joe Prado. My best friend is also Hank Crestone.
What?
Thanks for driving me here, Joe.
I just want
I'm
to say,
proud of your transportation.
because the co-captain of transportation was Joe Lucky.
Oh, yeah.
That was the artistic
And
director.
Yeah,
Art
he's
director.
he's the artistic director?
Yeah,
Yeah.
co-captain was like
Oh,
Skook
Skook
Henderson.
Henderson.
Skook.
Okay.
Fucking
Well,
love Skook.
I believe that there is no Joe Lucky. Joe Lucky is just Joe Dante,
Oh
his
yeah.
art director.
Yes.
Yeah, it just
I
got
would
paid
absolutely.
twice.
I would absolutely
Oh,
believe
yeah.
that.
I don't believe for a second that he let any of those.
No, how could he?
The art director
Details
comes
go,
and is like,
yeah.
oh, I don't know if we should put actual Looney Tunes in this, Joe. Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah?
I'm art director now. Joe Dante is Joe Lucky. Get out of my set.
I already hired Chuck Jones.
Yeah.
It's already made.
Yeah.
Skook Henderson, take him off set.
Skook. This is my good buddy from college, Skook. We
Get
call him
Skook.
Skook. Wow.
Yeah, amazing. All right, well, before we get to our final ratings,
Oh boy.
we'd like to read a review of our podcast, Totes Recall. 5-star review on
Yes.
iTunes
Yes.
or somewhere else if you tell us.
Yeah.
And I have to apologize because we did have one last episode and I said we
no.
didn't. So now we will read that one now. I apologize to Violet Vice. Any impression of a character for this movie or the obvious choice of the director.
Sure.
We all have very good impressions of the director of this movie.
Very accurate.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I mean, that might be the one. I'm trying to think who else is.
I mean, you can try to do Tony Randall. If you can even remember how.
You could try
yeah.
to do Marla.
Fuck,
you could do
that
every
voice works.
accent.
Oh, Marla's pretty good.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
I feel like Joe Dante is the clear winner, though.
All right.
I mean, for me, for my money, it's on Joe Dante.
I mean, we've been doing it the whole episode.
All right. I'll do it then if no one's jumping at the chance.
Are you doing Marla or are you doing Joe Dante?
I
I would love to hear you try to do Marla.
All right, I'll do Marla.
Yeah.
Staten Island.
Billy. Ew.
It's okay if you can't hold on to it.
Too Fanny. iTunes by Violet Vice. I've had to stop listening to this podcast at work
Oh boy.
because
Mr. Joe Bravo,
because
Mr.
I
Joe-
laughed too hard.
Yep.
My boss came over to my desk and asked if I was here right as at 10. Read and shook uncontrollably with silent laughter during the Beauty and the Beast episode.
Oh boy.
Bell's Beach. I'm getting
Yeah, you
real
are.
Australian.
You're really getting into Bill's Beach.
This is like, I don't understand what you're saying.
But now I've had to be careful with what I do at home while I listen. Because I almost spit tea all over me laundry. In it. I'm Joe Dante.
What?
I write
What?
reviews.
Oh wow.
Oh my god.
So thank you, Violet Vice, for
Yeah,
viewing.
Thank
wow.
you, Violet Vice.
Joe, I just wonder if it just seems weird that he would have a shower next to his office. You know what? Marla's going to be played by Joe Pesci trying to be a New Zealand cop at the beach.
Well, I nailed it.
Yeah, you definitely nailed it.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Guess it's hard. We shouldn't be so hard on Marla.
Yeah. Hey.
Hey, us.
Hey,
Cool
us.
it.
Cool it, us.
Cool it.
And
Cool it.
shut up.
Yeah.
But before we cool it and shut up,
Mm-hmm.
Dan, you gave it 3 Joe Dante genius vest points.
Oh yeah.
You were nervous it'd be bad
Yes.
because you liked it so much, but ooh, how could it hold up?
Yeah. I was wrong. This movie is too insane to not hold up because there's like it just is what it is. Like it is just like this unadulterated Joe Dante madness. And it's so stupid, but it's so aware of how stupid it is. And I had a great time watching it. 5 vests.
What?
Yes.
Whoa.
That's impressive.
Beth, you gave it a 1
Yeah.
because there was no way you were going to like it.
Yeah.
But maybe think how much you could up it.
Yeah. So I didn't really like the movie, but I did feel like it was like a view into Joe Dante's brain, and not just like Joe Dante like from Gremlins, but like the Joe Dante that like we have developed
Yes.
on this show.
Yeah.
Like even more insane than like maybe we have gone before. And
Yeah.
so I was really delighted by that. I also loved everything that the building said.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that everything was hilarious and that was well written. So 4.5.
Ooh,
What?
half a vest.
The
Yeah.
vest is that left, right, or is it
Ooh,
like
yeah,
a crop top
great
vest
question.
or a cummerbund?
Yeah, it's a crop top vest.
Nice. Like
yeah.
a little one that a gremlin could wear.
Yeah.
I gave it a 5, thinking it would be bananas and delightful.
Yeah.
I am right in all this movie. 5 genius vests. It's so great. Molly.
Yeah.
Oh, you gave it a 3 because you were worried about a bathroom conversation scene that you were thinking about.
Oh.
Did that happen?
Yeah.
It did not.
Do you know what movie that's from?
I'm going to guess.
Is that like Network or something?
No, I actually wonder if it wasn't that one with Jennifer Lawrence where she has a New Jersey accent.
What are you
What?
talking about?
American something.
Oh,
One with fat Christian Bale?
Bradley Cooper?
What?
No, I'm thinking Amy Adams. No, she's in that
They're
too.
all in that movie, which I think you and I are thinking the same movie. I don't know if we're thinking the same movie as her, though.
I think you are.
Amy Adams, Jennifer Lawrence,
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper,
Yep.
Fat Christian Bale.
Yep.
Becker's Bale.
Jeremy Renner.
They're
I
like
think.
scamming people.
They're scammers.
Yeah,
Is that one?
scammers. American scammers.
American
I
scammers.
think
Yep.
that actually is pretty close to the title, I think.
Yeah.
American grifters.
I don't know.
American whatever.
Channing,
Legion.
tweet at us.
Yep.
You were maybe in that movie too. Who knows?
Anyway, you know what? It doesn't matter. It does not matter.
But there was a scene in the bathroom in that movie that you associated with the movie Gremlins 2, The New Batch.
Oh, you say it like that, it seems ridiculous. I don't remember what I was thinking. Here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
Here's what actually happened.
Okay.
I watched this movie and I went from a 2 to a 7
were all over
and
the
back
place.
to a 2.
Yeah.
It was really, I was genuinely grossed out. I was honestly startled. I did not appreciate before how funny the script was. And I just I'm both happy and sad that Joe Dante is a real person. Because I feel like like our imagining of Joe Dante is so fun, and I really enjoy it. And also, I want to be respectful of an actual human, and I just feel like the actual human who made this thing must be very fun because the movie was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
So for those reasons, I give it 4
Wow.
Joe Dante Genius Vests.
Is it American Gangster?
No, it's
No,
like
that's
American.
Denzel.
That's Denzel and
Or it's like,
somebody else.
It's gonna hit me, and I'll be like, "Oh, I'm so dumb." Anyway, it really doesn't matter.
Sorry, people who are really into movies from only like 5 years ago.
It's
Yeah,
really
they're like,
recent.
Okay, but like
seemed
not
like they
you're
should
not
have been
gonna remember
better.
them.
It takes place in the 70s.
Yeah,
I
like you're
keep
not gonna
wanting
remember
to
them
say
after a
Wolf
few
of Wall
years.
Street, but that's
No,
not
it's
it.
not
But it
it.
came out around the same time as
Yeah.
that, maybe?
Yeah.
American.
Is American in it?
I thought it was. We could all be totally wrong.
Wow.
Maybe it's just called Fat Christian Bale Scams America.
I apologize to the entire cast and crew of this movie. I can't remember.
Certainly. But let us, on the opposite of apologize to Joe Dante, because I think, Molly, the point you're getting at is that if this movie truly is like the purest expression of Joe Dante, I think he would really appreciate our version of himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I do love the idea of like this movie coming out of like the most chill dude in the world. You know what I mean? Like I do love the idea of him just being like, yeah, and then like just sitting around like with the producer, like, yeah, and then we'll have this one just drink the lightning potion, and Billy will put in a phone.
We'll cut to Leonard Maltin giving a review of the first movie. It's a bad review.
Can we get Hulk Hogan or Macho Man to come in for one day? Just one day. It's just for like a quick scene. I think people are really gonna like it.
Hand puppets. How good are we with shadow puppets?
Yeah, are we?
Can we get Lincoln?
Do we know?
Can we get
Can we-
Lincoln? Lincoln, what's his avail?
Like I love the idea. Like I do, as much as I love our version of Joe Dante, I also love the idea of like him being like the most professional person in Hollywood, somehow creating this movie.
He's a genius.
Yep.
A genius.
So many vests.
Nobody does.
So
many
many genius
Totes Recall is hosted by Molly Chase, Beth Gibbs, Dan Jaquette, and Dan Linden. Produced by Beth Gibbs. New episodes of Totes Recall drop on the 15th of every month. For more information and bonus content, visit us at totesrecall.com. Thank you so much for listening.